Mind you what this actually means in terms of the table, because you've got Manchester City at the moment 5th in the league on 27 points. They're a point behind Nottingham Forest, who are 4th, but City have played a game fewer. Now City have played the same number of games as Liverpool, who of course didn't play last weekend. Liverpool's game against Everton was postponed, so it means that City are currently 9 points off Liverpool. So it's hugely important that they win this game and put the pressure on. But what about Manchester United? Well, their situation is extraordinary, really. They've had their worst ever start to a Premier League campaign. They're currently 13th in the league. They're only 7 points above the relegation zone. They are currently 9 points adrift of the Champions League spots. They have an enormous amount of work to do to rescue their season, and that work begins this evening in Manchester. It's one of the biggest games in the Premier League calendar. It's Manchester City and Manchester United. It's coming up on Premier League Live.
Leave the noise and the chaos of the holidays behind and escape to a channel filled with cozy piano, string and horn versions of your holiday favorites. Set the mood for a stress-free season with Sirius XM Holiday Instrumentals. Now through Christmas Day on the Sirius XM app, along with dozens of other holiday channels and specials.
Soccer fans, SiriusXM FC is your home for extensive coverage of the beautiful game with a daily lineup of soccer talk hosted by former players, coaches, and more. Listen in weekday mornings to The Football Show with Ray Hudson and Charlie Stilitano for expert analysis of the top leagues around the world, including the UEFA Champions League and their picks for the Players of the Week, presented by Pulisic on Paramount+. Hear it on SiriusXM FC Channel 157 and catch the all-new original docu-series Pulisic, presented by Michelob Ultra, now streaming exclusively on Paramount+.
An all-new, all-access Paramount Plus original docu-series.
Christian Pulisic is captain of the U.S. national team.
Take a sneak peek into my trailer.
Following America's captain.
Soccer brings out a different character in me.
On his quest for global victory.
Captain America
has taken his team on his shoulders. Balancing fame.
Christian's never wanted the spotlight.
And the game.
These are the goals that create legends.
I want to be the best player in the world.
Pulisic, presented by Michelob Ultra. New docu-series, now streaming exclusively on Paramount Plus.
On the day of the fire, I had left that morning to fly to Boston. And I left my 16-year-old son here by himself. And it was while he was gone that the fire started. The smoke detector in his room was tied into the alarm.com system. So when he came back from the airport, fire trucks were already here in the cul-de-sac. They opened up the front door and immediately they smelled the smoke. They got there so fast because of the system notified them. It saved the rest of my house. And my 3 dogs were in there. It automatically shut off my HVAC upstairs and shut off the vents. And it helped keep the smoke damage being, on a minimal. I'm extremely grateful for my alarm.com system. And it saved my house and saved my dogs. I don't know where we would be without it. It saved everything that day.
Alarm.com. Millions protected. Visit alarm.com to find a local authorized service provider and learn how you can protect your family.
Hey SOP fans and my fellow Manchester United fans, today we have a massive game here. It feels like I'm saying that every time over here, but every game's so important under the new manager Ruben Amorim, but today's a special day because we're taking on Manchester City. Now I am optimistic for this game, although it is at the Etihad, we do struggle there. We have had a few good wins there, but Man City are in awful form. In the Champions League, they lost 2-0 to Juventus. They've been in dreadful form in recent times. So hopefully we can take something, even a point, maybe 3 points, who knows. But come on United, let's get this win. Come on.
And this is the Manchester Derby. Well, let's give you a run-through of the two teams. Very intriguing. We'll start with City, who have matched up against Ruben Amorim's 3-2-4-1 formation. Let's give you the goalkeeper Ederson, Kyle Walker, Ruben Diaz and Joško Gvardiol at the back. Bernardo Silva, Ilkay Gundogan in the deep midfield positions, but you've got Phil Foden and Kevin De Bruyne ahead of them. Jeremy Doku and Mateus Nunes in the wide positions in midfield and Erling Haaland in attack. As for Manchester United, Andre Onana in goal, Lisandro Martinez, Matthias de Ligt and Harry Maguire at the back. Diogo Dalot down the left, Nusaya Mazraoui down the right as the wing-backs, Manuel Ugarte in midfield alongside Bruno Fernandes, and then in those 10 positions, Mason Mount and Ahmad just behind Rasmus Højlund, who scored a match-winning brace against Victoria Pilsenia in the Europa League on Thursday. Paul Parker, the perfect man to have alongside me for this one. Paul, we've talked about City, we've talked about United, but just talking more globally about this game, you've played for United for a long, long time. Tell me what it means, this kind of derby.
I think it's no different to, I think, any derby in any city where there's only a couple of teams at least, and it's about what happens on Monday morning when everyone's going into work properly, and it's just everything's been blue for a number of years, but this one game makes a difference. The United fans will celebrate if they were to win this game. They'll celebrate. Doesn't matter what City have got behind them and what they've done the last few years. This game makes a difference. It just straight away gives them that little bit of bragging rights for a few days. They know they can't go any longer because they haven't got that kind of the credentials behind them because of what City have done over these last 5-6 seasons. But there's one game, given the position they're in at the moment as well with City, they'll go at it a little more, talking about have they got enough about them to go again. Because United stumbled and then went again initially under Sir Alex. But now, at this moment, we're seeing City, as much as we talk about Pep, what he's done has been incredible. Sir Alex Ferguson, for me and a lot of people, is a better manager because he was still managing while he was being successful. He was building within the squad. And I'm one of those people who was out of it once he started building, and he then built the next one around the back of a player who replaced me, Gary Neville. You'd look at all of those players who come in, the David Beckham, you look at him for Andrei Kanchelskis, all those little things he'd done. He just built within. Pep hasn't done that, and that's one of the reasons why City are where they are.
Blue Moon ringing out around the Etihad. They had a big tifo, the City fans, with Guardiola on it, that said "Més que un entrenador," more than a coach. There is huge support for Guardiola at the Etihad. No sense that the City fans are turning. We're underway in northwest England. Blue against red, City against United. The Manchester derby right here on Premier League Live, and it is City who have the ball early on here in their light blue shirts, white shorts, attacking the goal away to our left. United in those familiar red shirts, black shorts, playing from left to right. Here is Mateus Nunes, the Portuguese midfielder who has been used in a wider role this season by Pep Guardiola, and he finds Kyle Walker, who's had a really tough time of it. He's been in poor form of late, and he received horrific abuse, quite frankly, on social media in midweek after the defeat in Turin against Juventus. The club commented on it publicly and gave him their full backing, as quite rightly they should. Here is Jeremy Doku coming in off the left touchline for City, who will look to dominate the ball as they always do. But can they find the magic formula today? They've won just one of their last 10 competitive matches, their worst ever run under Pep Guardiola, and as I say, beaten at Juventus in the Champions League on Wednesday 2-0, their 7th defeat in the last 10. Foul on that far side, Kevin De Bruyne barged over Paul Parker. City will look to have as much of the ball as they possibly can.
Yeah, they have to, and it serves them well to have the ball, because the way they've set up with only 3, as we can say, actual defenders on the field, they're very vulnerable in wide areas because of their lack of defenders out there. So they are going to want to keep the ball. It's up to United, as they're doing now, to work hard, and if they do get possession, the wide areas are where the space is where they'll get a lot of joy.
Feels like Ahmad and Rasmus Højlund could do real damage on the counter-attack today with their pace and their direct running.
Without a doubt. Now, Ahmad is the one you want to get the ball to his feet, because the ball at his feet, he's the best United player with the ball at his feet. He will run at people to create opportunities.
He's got 2 goals and 6 assists, Ahmad, in his last 8 games in all competitions. Doku has taken the ball out. He's trying to race down that left-hand side. United at the moment, just 19 points from their first 15 games. Their worst ever tally at this stage of a Premier League season. Their worst since 1986. And they've not won any of their last 5 Premier League away games. If you go back further, they've only won 5 of the last 20.
Well, then, what you just said, that then in 1986, that would have been pre-Sir Alex. That would have been one of the reasons why he come in just after that.
It took him a while to get things going. I think it's fair to say that once he did, he never looked back.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. No difference to really where it is at this moment in time. Again.
It is another reset at Manchester United. Ruben Amorim has been in charge a matter of weeks. As the ball is played back to Andre Onana, sends a raking ball forward, and now United looking to play through here, and Bruno Fernandes out to the left-hand side. Diogo Dalot, who's playing on the left today, he can play right back, he can play left back. He's been used on that left-hand side this afternoon with Mazraoui playing that wing back on the other side, but the United attack breaks down, and here's Doku into the centre circle. He's lost it to Ahmad, but the referee, Anthony Taylor, calls a halt to it, gives a free kick to Manchester City. You had your head in your hands a few moments ago, Paul. I'll come to you in a moment and ask you why. Here's Nunes out to the left-hand side, and Doku approaching the left corner of the penalty area. Forward it goes, back to Matheus Nunes, the former Sporting player. Played in by De Bruyne towards Haaland at the far post, and headed behind by Martinez for a corner.
Yeah, slapping hands about saying Martinez has done well. I think he's been given away a corner too cheaply there. He could have held off Haaland and just got the goal kick. But still, Haaland doesn't get a header in. I suppose should be grateful for that.
It was a back pass to the goalkeeper. You weren't particularly enamoured.
No, because the goalkeeper has been quite poor.
Yes, that's fair to say. Had a tough game against Forest, and then against Victoria Pilsenyi he made a mistake. Here's De Bruyne from the corner playing the ball into the box, but it was cleared, and it's gone back as far as Matheus Nunes, who was known as a box-to-box midfielder at Sporting, really, but Pep Guardiola's been working with him as a wide player, really. But of course there is such fluidity in the City team. They switch positions all the time. We saw that a lot in the game against Juventus in midweek. City with just 1 defeat in their last 55 Premier League home games, but that was a recent one, and it was a doozy. They lost 4-0 to Tottenham, which was their biggest home defeat since 2003. That was at the old Main Road. Here is Walker in the centre circle, forward towards Haaland, and he can't bring the ball under his spell. And then United playing through the press and have found some space here, wide on the left-hand side. They've got Højlund through the middle, it's Dalot making the run, and the cross is easily pouched by Ederson, and it was a disappointing cross from Dalot.
Certainly was, but he's done well to get there. The cross was just ballooned a little bit, quite easy in the end for Ederson to grab hold of it. At least they showed their worth, by the way, Kev, of wanting to get forward rather than sitting in there and be happy to defend.
Yeah, there is a real level of proactivity, I think, from United early on here. They want to play through that City press, and City so vulnerable in recent games on the counter-attack. Here's Gundogan, jabs it forward to Foden, who loses it under pressure from Ahmad. We've had 6 and a bit minutes here on Premier League Live. It's 0-0 in the Manchester derby. Here is Ahmad, just to the right of the centre circle. Earlier today, Crystal Palace won 3-1 at Brighton. Another regional rivalry of sorts. They don't like each other, those two. It's a curious rivalry, but it is a heartfelt one. Here's Dalot, wide on the left-hand side. Knocks it back to Mason Mount. Now Lisandro Martinez across to one of the summer signings, Matthias de Ligt. They spent a lot of money in the summer, Manchester United, but Dan Ashworth, the sporting director who oversaw that spending, has been ditched just 5 months after arriving. It took 5 months to negotiate his release from his previous job at Newcastle, so just adds to that element of chaos at Old Trafford. Ball given away cheaply by Mazraoui. You don't say that very often. He's been on good form. Now Gvardiol forward from the back, and he just loses it cheaply to Lisandro Martinez, and now Mount at Dallow. 8th minute in the 195th Manchester derby. In all competitions, it's 0-0. City have won 5 of the club's last 6 Premier League meetings. If you go back further, it's 15 wins in 26 in the top flight for City. But United did beat them in last season's FA Cup final after City won both of the meetings in the league. And that just does show, Paul, that they do have that quality, United.
Well, Ten Hag in that final, his tactics were absolutely brilliant in that. You saw everything, and he got everyone believing that this season was one to look forward to be perfectly honest. The way they performed throughout that 90 minutes was excellent.
They were strongly linked with other coaches in the summer. They stuck with Ten Hag. Did seem to be a big disconnect between Barcelona, Jim Ratcliffe, and Dan Ashworth. Ball played forward here by Gvardiol to Foden, back to Gvardiol. That's nice for playing through the United press here. Back to Walker on the edge of his own area, and now Ederson, who's making his 350th appearance for Manchester City this evening. Ederson. It is his 263rd game in the Premier League. Good challenge by Nunes. And it is going to be the United throw. It's been high energy, high pace so far. It's had a little bit of chaos, the game. We've not really seen it settle down yet.
No, but I think at this moment in time, the game's very even in a good way. Both sides are really they're both cancelling each other out. United are actually being positive going forward. No one's really getting into that final third to cause a problem at the moment.
Here's Bruno Fernandes, early ball out to the left-hand side. It's curled onto the thigh of Dallow, his fellow Portuguese, on his right foot. Dallow's cross too strong, far too strong, and jeers and catcalls from the City fans as the ball floats behind for a goal kick.
I mean, Dallow is really squeezed on as a wing-back, and he's on his weaker side, but he's always happy to step inside in his right foot. He just got that completely wrong. There wasn't much of a target for him. There's only the one man, Højlund, who was making a run towards the near post.
Started 35 games in a row in the Premier League, Diogo Dallow. He's a reliable player, isn't he?
Yeah, very much so.
It's been hard quality to come by at Old Trafford in recent years, reliability and durability. I think that's fair to say. Here's De Ligt in the centre circle, works it to Mazraoui. Mazraoui back to Matthijs De Ligt. Part of a back three this afternoon. Ruben Amorim trying to make that back three work, as he did at Sporting. Led them to their first league title in 19 years in the Primera Liga, and then he won it again 2 seasons later. And lots of success in the Portuguese capital with the Lions. Here is Mazraoui down the right-hand side for United. He's found Ahmad. Ahmad skipping into the area, twisting, turning, looking for a way through. Gvardiol just stood him up, and the whistle has gone. But that was a good surge from Ahmad. It's a free kick for Manchester City.
It certainly was, and City held a really, really good line there by a good, 2-3 feet, to be honest. He was offside, but it was a good line. I don't know why they let the play go for so long, to be perfectly honest. It was very clear. But again, Ahmad is trying to get in behind. And it's, to be honest, they're defending as a 4 with 3 actual defenders. It's quite dangerous in that sense to be playing like that.
No Marcus Rashford tonight, no Alejandro Garnacho, both fit, but both left out of the matchday squad. Amorim was asked about that. He said, I look at everything. I look at training, I look at the way players eat, the things they eat, the way they behave around the training ground, the way they support other players, and that's my decision. He said, I've got a lot of quality players. Would you believe it? A man who's had so many injury problems since arriving at Manchester United, Mason Mount, he's sat down on the turf and he looks absolutely crestfallen. His Manchester derby looks to have lasted about 12 minutes. And Kobbie Mainoo's going to come on, which suggests he would drop into midfield, Paul, and then they'd move Fernandes forward.
Yeah, which I'm sure Fernandes won't be too happy about, to be perfectly honest. He does love that position of sitting deeper and making those runs forward. Someone would slot in to protect the area he's leaving, but he'd rather that as his starting point rather than being that a little bit further forward in behind Hoyland. So, I mean, that's the most obvious way it's going to work out. So, be interesting now if this just might affect United and what they've done so far.
As a former player, Paul, it is a bit heartbreaking, isn't it, to see players when they're trying to make something happen, and Mason Mount, every time it seems as though he's come back from injury, his body just breaks down again. Yeah, you just wonder if it's in his head or if is it actually there or not. I don't know. He's just straight away gone. When did he feel it? We're only like coming into the 12th minute. Because at Chelsea, it just didn't happen to him, did it?
No, it didn't. No, I just find it. Football is different now. It's nowhere near the physical contact isn't there anymore as well it was yesteryear. When I say yesteryear, I mean anything around up to about 2010. It isn't there, but yet players are going down all the time.
Are they tuned in a different way now? Is that what it is? Are they pushed to kind of a different limit? Your game was much more physical, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But are they trained, kind of developed in a different way now?
Yeah, well, everything is a lot shorter. We done mileage. We put miles in. We put hills in.
There's all sprint, isn't it? Sprint constantly. Well, he's gone off Mason Mount, and it's Kobbie Mainoo who comes on, and as we said, that's going to be an adjustment that will see Bruno Fernandes go forward into one of those 10 positions, if you like, in behind Rasmus Højlund. He does want to play that deeper role, as Paul Parker says, but I can't help feeling that actually that 10 kind of suits his game a little bit in terms of the creative part of it. 14 on the watch in the Manchester derby, goalless between City and United. Here's Matheus Nunes, works it in field, finds Gundogan. Gundogan has not hit the heights since returning from a year at Barcelona, but he still has those high standards. He was scathing about the team in midweek after the game against Juventus. He said we keep making the same mistakes over and over again. He said every attack feels dangerous at the moment. Accused the team of being careless. It's a good challenge from Mazraoui. Referee's given a free kick.
Sorry about that. No, it's just me.
Visceral reactions from a former fullback are fine by me.
It was an absolutely great challenge. And he wins the ball. There it goes. And there was no contact with the player. The player's just limp because he's gone in. And there's a bit of momentum, but you can't make a challenge without momentum.
We can't make a challenge and then disappear. That's the thing I can never quite work out.
I don't know why they want to keep giving fouls all the time for that.
Free kick taken, Doku's cross, away by Mazraoui, who gave away that foul. And City on the attack now with Gundogan inside right channel. Quarter of an hour gone, right-footed cross is far too strong. And that goes behind for a goal kick. Well, he retired Ilkay Gundogan from international football with Germany earlier this year. He's a player that scored a couple of goals. He scored against Slovan Bratislava and Feyenoord in the Champions League. He's not yet scored in the Premier League this season. 34 now, Ilkay Gundogan. What do you make of his return to the team, Paul?
It just hasn't worked out at the moment, is it? He's been away for that year, so given how Pep is that, you have to say he's lost a little bit of that education, isn't he?
Is he in the wrong position? Because he's a lot deeper than he normally would be.
Well, I think about that season he had, his last season, he was scoring goals for fun, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an incredible season, that was, I must say, what he had as an individual.
He's had to fill in with Rodri out, with Kovacic out. He's been holding the fort with Bernardo Silva. I have to say, Bernardo Silva and Ilkay Gundogan, it's not the pairing I'd pick as a holding midfield pairing, as talented as both of them are. Here is...
I think we have to look as well how Barca have gone since how they're doing now compared to when he was there. I mean, they're having a really good time domestically, and I watched them as well the other day, and I mean, what a great game that was the other day.
Great football, yeah, doing really well. Here is Matthijs de Ligt, former Bayern player, brought in the summer. He's only 25, Matthijs de Ligt, but he's packed a lot into a relatively short career. He helped Ajax reach the semi-finals of the Champions League. He won title with Juventus in Italy. Kobbie Mainoo's lost it in midfield. Here's Doku, tried to slide it through for Haaland, but De Ligt was in the way not once but twice, and he clears up towards halfway. Ruben Diaz forward to Kevin De Bruyne. He finds Foden in between the lines inside left channel. Now Doku, left corner of the penalty area. 17 gone in the Manchester derby on Premier League Live 0-0. De Bruyne, nice ball. Foden stands it up to the far post. Header away by Maguire. chested down by De Bruyne in the penalty area, comes out to this near side as we look at it. The City left, now in on his right foot, forward to Foden. Foden just skips away from Mainu. Two local lads going head-to-head, Kobbie Mainu and Phil Foden. Foden, the Stockport Iniesta, as he was once dubbed. Had an amazing season last term. He was scoring goals left, right and centre, but he's been struggling with injury this term. He's only got 3 in all competitions. Fernandes with the challenge on Walker on the far side, just jabs it out for a throw into Manchester City. It's the first meeting between the teams with neither side in the top 4 for 4 years. Both teams struggling at the moment. City 5th, Manchester United 13th. It is extraordinary how it's gone for these two recently. But if City were to get the win today, they'd move to within 6 points of Liverpool at the top. Here's Doku trying to take on Mazraoui. He just stood his ground, played the ball and not the man, and that's what you have to do against Doku.
You've got Mazraoui and you've got Amad Diallo, 2 players who have been moved all over different positions and excelled in those positions every time they've played.
I think there's been a real maturity about Mazraoui since he arrived from Bayern. I think that process had already started when he was at the German Giants. He was always seen as a very attack-minded fullback, really, but I think just showed you his maturity when he played as a wide centre-back for United in Amorim's opening games. He is a player that has really taken on that responsibility. Played for Morocco when they had that brilliant run at the World Cup in Qatar.
It's quite funny what people said about him when he first come into it, to be honest.
Here's Doku trying to slip it through for Haaland, couldn't quite make it through to the Norwegian sensation, who is, for all the talk of him slowing down, has still got 13 goals in 15 Premier League games, and he's still averaging better than a goal a game in his Champions League career, so it's not too bad. Here's Martinez, just plays it through a couple of players, finds Højlund spinning onto his right foot, finds Fernandes, edge of the area. Mainu works it out to the left of Martinez. This is good from Manchester United. Dalot pointing to where he wanted Mainu to go, but he's gone the other way. Used Mainu as a decoy, and then Fernandes with a poor ball that was easily seen, and City could bring it away with nearly 20 minutes gone here on Premier League Live. It is 0-0 in the Manchester derby. Bernardo Silva popping up at right back here, and he's chipped it all the way across the left back zone. Home fans applauded that, and Nunes forward now to Kevin De Bruyne, the Belgian. Ginger hair flowing behind him as he finds Doku. Doku scampering towards the left edge of the penalty area. He's got it again. Belgian to Belgian. Doku's cross to the far post. Header away by Dalot. It's going to drop to Foden. Left foot volley by Foden, and it whistles wide of the target. Onana absolutely flat-footed. I tell you what, if that's inside the near post, that's 1-0 City, but it's a goal kick to United.
Well, that's the first time Doku has actually gone round the outside of Mazraoui. He's got there, and I'm watching Onana in goal, and he's just stood there. I haven't even seen him shuffle across. I'm not expecting him to go diving and doing heroics, believing it's going in, but I expect him to give me the belief that he was in control of that situation.
I think he's going the wrong way, Paul.
I think he shuffled to his right, so we could have a look where the ball was.
I think it's very similar to what happened to him against Forest the other night when he was beaten by a relatively central effort from Morgan Gibbs-White, but all of his weight was shifted the wrong way. He's always been a player that when he's good, he's very, very good, but he does have these spells where he can lose confidence and he can lose his way. But when he's on top form, he can be outstanding. He helped it to reach the Champions League final, which they lost to Manchester City. Bit of space here for Amad. Scampering forwards here, Amad. On such good form. And he finds Højlund, but Højlund's first touch was a little bit bouncy, and it allowed Ruben Dias to come in and make the challenge. 22nd minute at the Etihad.
I think any other striker would have taken that on their right foot away from the player on that side. He takes it on his back foot where the defender's marking him, and he's pushed it out far too far, and he hasn't got that change of pace, Højlund.
He's a work in progress, Rasmus Højlund. 5 goals in his last 4 games. He got the winner against Victoria Pilsenia on Thursday. Showed his promise at Atalanta, but as is the case with so many players at United struggling to find consistency. Here's De Bruyne to Haaland, to Foden. Foden onto his left foot, and the shot's deflected wide. Phil Foden starting to come into the game more and more. It's a corner to Manchester City.
Well, everything with City was on this near side with Doku and Nunez, but now they're going a little bit to the right, and Foden is starting to get into it, which is a bit of a worry when you've got that side, and you have got Bernardo Silva is there, over there as well, who has been very quiet so far in this game on the attacking front.
City have scored 27 goals in their 15 Premier League games. Here's the corner towards the far post, and the header's over the top. Ruben Diaz attacked it. He's a player that you feel should score more, really, but he hasn't scored for City in a couple of years now, and he hasn't scored in the Premier League for 3, and his header goes over the top.
Yeah, he's made a run as well. United are zonal marking. The problem with that, though, people have got to slow down the run. Ugarte's tried to go with him and block him off.
How's it going?
Should have done better. I don't think we should be doing what Hoyland's doing. That is WWF, isn't it?
Yeah, we've just seen a replay, actually, of what was going on between Haaland and Hoyland. And it was muscular, let's say. They were just wrestling with each other. Only needed somebody to come in with a chair and hit one of them, and it would have been the full package.
Or an old woman with a brolly.
Maybe that as well.
Yeah, it was the Battle of Scandinavia.
Me and Paul are from a slightly different wrestling vintage. We talk about Kendo Nagasaki and Big Daddy. Driven in low by Mainu towards the edge of the area. I think younger listeners will wonder who on earth we're talking about, but that was the real wrestling back in the day, right?
And you're younger than me as well. I'm really surprised you brought that up. I could go further now and start naming more, but I think I would lose everyone. People I'm talking at the moment, I'd have to say Hulk Hogan, wouldn't I, really?
You would, and indeed more modern wrestlers than that.
Yeah.
But, back to the Manchester derby, although I am tempted. It's out to the left-hand side, and Dalot lays it off to Fernandes. Fernandes now to Ugarte, the former Paris Saint-Germain player, came in the summer. Player who's very much about solidity in that midfield area. You're not going to get goals from him. You're not really going to get assists, but you will get a hell of a lot of tackling. And Ruben Amorim knows that, worked with him at Sporting. He was effectively the replacement for João Palhinha when he left the club to move to the Premier League. Here is Mazraoui, forward to Mainu. Mainu infield to Ugarte, and that's clever. He's found Ahmad. Ahmad in the box, and he's missed it. He was one-on-one with Eres on the Flagstaff, but Ahmad was through, and he's driven that wide of the near post. One-on-one with Eres on, and it was just offside anyway.
It was, but he's used the eyes there, Ederson, and he's gone for that near post. If he goes inside, then you say great goal. He's missed it, and everyone say you had a whole of the goal the other side, but it doesn't matter anyway because he was offside. That's twice he's threatened. They've got to be wary of him now, City, to be perfectly honest.
Do you think one of the more important things about this Ruben Amorim spell in charge early on is going to be players that can fill in numerous positions, and Ahmad can do that. He can play in one of those 10 roles. He can play wing back. He's done that brilliantly so far. That's what you need, isn't it? Guys who will slot into different roles.
That's exactly right. You don't want to be a jack of all trades. At the moment, he's happy he's got someone who actually respects him as a player.
I think it's also players who will interpret those roles in different ways. Here's Fernandes, he's another one, can play that central midfield role, can play as a 10. He finds Ahmad. Good spell list for Manchester United. 26 on the watch in the Manchester derby on Premier League Live. It's City 0, United 0. Not too much in the way of goal-mouth action, but it's intriguing at the Etihad. It's two teams that desperately need a victory this afternoon. City know that a win would take them onto 30 points, 6 shy of the leaders Liverpool. There was a challenge between Nunez and a United player. The ball spun out of play. It's going to be a throw to Manchester City, who are 22nd in the Champions League table. If they were to lose their next match in early January at Paris Saint-Germain, they'd be in serious danger of failing to reach the knockout phase, which, when you bear in mind they won the tournament 2 seasons ago, that would be just the most enormous crashing back down to earth. United, of course, nowhere near the Champions League right now. They're in the Europa League, but they are in the top 8 positions in that tournament. at the moment.
I think I'm going to have to say this is the best 27 minutes and 23 seconds I've seen from United so far this season.
Ederson just about got rid of it in time as Ahmad was bearing down on him. Turn from Nunes straight into Kobbie Mainoo, still only 19, the England international. Scored in the FA Cup final against City in the season finale.
I must say as well, he's come on Mainoo, and City are not getting through to the back three as much as they did prior to Mount's injury, to be perfectly honest.
What do you make of him, Kobbie Mainoo?
I like him. He's still going to need time. He's a young lad, still getting over that season and that summer he had.
Here's Silva. That's a great run by Bernardo Silva. It was taken off his toe at the final moment there. And it was actually Bruno Fernandes who got back to do it.
That was incredible what he's done there, Fernandes. But it's more about the discipline that he's actually bided his time and waited. And he had to wait to the most dangerous time to go and make that challenge. And he done it right.
Because otherwise he brings him down, doesn't he? Foden trying to spin away from Ugarte, who stuck to him like glue there. That's clever play by Dalot, just delayed and played that down the left-hand side. Across comes Diaz to just slam the ball into the air. Was there a push from Haaland on Maguire? There was.
He just
like a naughty schoolboy. Haaland smirks and knows that he got caught there.
I think he's saying as well, Kevin, is like, it was just, I mean, let's put it this way, someone actually does that to you on the street, you're not going over.
No.
You're not going, that's the thing. That's that little smile. And I have to say this, I haven't said this much or never. Anthony Taylor's refereeing this quite well, by the way, because we haven't come close to a booking. He's actually got a smile in his face, and I think he's understanding what this game's about.
Haaland won 100 lines by tomorrow morning. He's chasing down Lisandro Martinez here. Martinez finds his old Ajax teammate Onana to Mazraoui, who was also part of that Ajax team that did so well in the Champions League under Erik Ten Hag. But of course Ten Hag no longer the Manchester United boss. Ederson sweeps the ball away downfield. Player who has lost his form in recent times, as have so many of these City players. Pep Guardiola has talked about the injury crisis, said I just want my players back. At the moment we're just missing the little details. He said I know what's happening behind the scenes, I know how my players feel. He said if I ever think that they're not following me, they aren't running, then I'll stop. But they're still there, we just need to stop making mistakes in defence and attack. Here is Walker, who's been responsible for some of those errors of late. It's only because they've hit such a high level of performance that now they're under it, they're getting a lot of criticism.
But we've seen so many good side, great sides who have bounced back so much quicker, Kev. City haven't done that, and that's the reason why everyone is questioning them, questioning the manager. Why has it gone wrong? How are you going to pull it right? And they're looking at the moment, and all they keep looking at is really a window.
Yeah. City 7 defeats in 10. That's pretty much apocalyptic for them. Conceded 23 goals in their last 10 competitive games. Only conceded 11 in the first 14. United looked rather uncomfortable there, trying to play the ball out from the back, and they've lost it. And here's Doku, wide on the left for City. He'll take on Mazraoui. Comes in field, tries a little roll back of the ball. He tried to just play it under his studs and he lost it. It's too delicate, that from Doku, and they've lost it here to Fernandes. That's a clever ball to Ahmad, racing away down the right-hand side. He's got Hoyland at the far post. Ahmad now, right corner of the penalty area, plays it back. Ugarte, 25 yards out, inside left channel. Stops, plays it to his left, and Martinez goes for goal, of all things. It was blocked by Walker, only half cleared, and the right foot shot from distance is pretty hopeless, truth be told. And that goes way, way over the crossbar. And in the 32nd minute of this Manchester derby, it remains 0-0.
Yeah, they just lost momentum there with that from Ahmad. Just lost it. I mean, the ball just ended up with the wrong players who wanted shooting now. Martinez and Ugarte, the last two people really want shooting from distance.
If I could just underline for you why Manuel Ugarte shooting from range is not a good idea. He's not scored for United at all. He's not scored a club goal since February 2020.
All right, SO peeps, you heard the man that's true.
Manchester
United.
His last goal was
fan.
for Famali
True,
Sal.
thanks for doing what you do, brother.
Pretty much.
Please go check him out and message him.
I think he's taken note of my
Killer
career
on
without
Discord.
being a defender.
Check him out on Twitter.
I
Awesome.
can emulate
Best
Paul
player
Parker.
took my
That's the way
team
to do it.
to rank 1
Is
in like
Nunes
3
down the
weeks. It was insane.
left-hand
The
side.
rewards
He's
were
got
awesome.
De Bruyne
Thanks for watching,
company.
guys.
Here is
Let's
Kevin
get back
De
to the
Bruyne.
soccer.
He's
Good
giving
luck
it
to your
away
team.
cheaply, really cheaply.
LAFC, the original fans, Ramon Pup.
Is the real Kevin De Bruyne hidden in a basement somewhere? Because we haven't seen the real one so far today.
Not at this moment in time. They've definitely lost some of their mojo.
397th game for Manchester City tonight. 104 goals. He's got over 100 caps for Belgium, but he's only got 2 Premier League assists this season. He's only scored a couple of goals in all competitions, both of those in the Premier League. But like so many players in this City team, either not fully fit or having to cover for those who are out entirely. It's not an excuse per se, it's just the reality of the situation. I think he goes higher actually than players. I think he goes higher than the coaching staff. Look at some of the decisions they've made, allowing Julian Alvarez to go for big money but not replacing him.
Incredible.
It's not being the club that has been used to making errors in the transfer market, but they've made some of late. Calvin Phillips debacle. It's a strange one. And it's just contributed to where City are at right now. Ball is played out to Fernandes, who's popped up absolutely everywhere so far. It's been a fine performance from him so far. It's a nice switch from left to right to find Mazraoui. Mazraoui forward to Ahmad. Ahmad's going to take on Nunes. It's looked lively, Ahmad, and he's found Mainu. Kobbie Mainu overrun it. Ahmad with the shot, that's blocked by Ruben Diaz. The follow-up header won by Ugarte, but that's swept away by Gundogan. It's a game that's going back and forth at the moment, and Manchester United are absolutely in the contest. Given away by De Ligt as he tried to swing it out to the left-hand side. It was a bit too slow, to be honest, and then Bernardo Silva brought down by Bruno Fernandes, who complains, but it is going to be a free kick, nothing more than that. I don't think he can really moan about that one.
No, I'm trying to see who's on the outside of him. He's tried to do it himself. He actually would have got to the ball. I think Dallo has caused the problem by getting involved with it. He's again going from the inside of him, yeah, and he kicks him. He kicks the back of his compatriot.
It's played to Foden now by City. They took that free kick quickly. Here's Doku up against Mazraoui. Doku onto his right foot, went for the early shot. Mazraoui blocked it, and it's gone behind for a corner. Do you just think that Mazraoui has got on top of Doku to the point where Doku's starting to panic a bit, and that seemed a bit panicky? And
It did. He's struggling. I mean, he's got Mazraoui, when he talked about him, everyone kept saying, because he couldn't get in the Bayern team, he's not good enough, can't bring him. You was the one who opened my eyes to it, the reason why he wasn't playing at Bayern. And it was tactical, wasn't it?
Absolutely. And he had illness as well. He wasn't well at one stage. He had a heart issue that had to be really, really careful of.
I think he's been absolutely fantastic.
It's going to be a corner then to Manchester City. 36th minute, it's 0-0. Gundogan to De Bruyne. His cross deflected, and the free header for Joško Gvardiol. Bit of fortune in the way the cross deflected to him. United seemed to stand still, and Joško Gvardiol, who for a defender has become a bit of a goal machine for City, has given them the lead in the Manchester derby. It's Manchester City 1, Manchester United 0.
Well, this game both sides deserved to go in at half-time without conceding, and a bit of good fortune on City's part. It was a badly worked corner, by the way. Gundogan's actual ball was short. It's come off of Ahmad, and it's just really fortunate it's fell right on the head of Gvardiol, and he's had a free run, and that's what's given him the leverage to get the height. And I will say Ahmad didn't really put his foot in there. He's dangled his leg. If he goes in strong, it might go back into De Bruyne, or it might have actually just gone out again for a corner. But because he's had a loose foot, that's the reason why the ball's looped a bit. It was a great header, by the way. Really good header away from Onana. Even he couldn't move for that one.
Not direct from a corner per se, but going into this game, 7 of the 18 Premier League goals United had conceded had been from corners, and again they've been caught out at a set play. And it is, would you believe, the 9th goal Guardiola scored for City in all competitions since joining the club at the start of last season. Now it's all kicked off, and Anthony Taylor has to see what's going on. There's a City player down, and what's happened here is pushing and shoving and all kinds of nonsense going on out there. Onana has run all the way from his goal to the edge of the City penalty area.
That's a booking waiting to happen, by the way, the keeper.
I don't know why he's there.
Don't know. But, I mean, it's involving Højlund. He wasn't happy with the off-the-ball shove by, I don't know why Kyle Walker's done that. It's like maybe he's trying to be a macho man. It was ridiculous. Anthony Taylor's there.
Well, Walker's down. Kyle Walker's down at the moment. Højlund's just walking away.
But Højlund, I don't know what Højlund's done. It seems like for me, as what happens all the time anyway in this league, is that he's made an absolute meal of something that isn't really there. I mean, that was ridiculous. The actual shove over what he does. Højlund's gone now to actually put his point across. Oh, no, I can't believe Kyle Walker's done that.
Just to explain this, Kyle Walker catches Højlund, free kick given. Højlund then goes to remonstrate with Walker. They put their heads together really gently, and Walker effectively falls to the floor pretty much to get Højlund sent off.
Oh, it's terrible. Absolutely terrible. If Højlund gets a yellow, then he should have a yellow. And to be honest, there should be something given on the side there. They should give him a dummy.
I've got to say, for a player of his quality, experience, there's no way Kyle Walker should be doing that. I think that's quite shameful. It's a yellow card for Højlund, it's a yellow card for Walker. I think Anthony Taylor's dealt with that pretty sensibly, but it was really poor from Walker.
It certainly was. What he's done there is he's tried to have a go at Højlund on his way from the referee, but he's just made himself look so stupid on 2 counts, the initial foul and that bit he done there. I mean, can you imagine him going in the dressing room afterwards? And he's, I mean, be honest,
not great.
Oh, terrible.
Not great, but after all that nonsense, we have a free kick for Manchester United. Inside left channel. Fernandes is over it, lifted into the penalty area. The header from De Ligt, only half away, and it squirts wide of the target. It'll be a corner. City look really uncertain there, and it's going to be a corner to Manchester United.
I don't know if that was a corner. I don't think Anthony Taylor would have got a good view of this. There was a lot of players who were actually in and around that.
Looked like he came off naming.
He did come off with him.
Actually looked like there were a fair few United players offside as well, but Fernandes takes the corner, and almost as if he was helping them out to give it back. It was a dreadful corner that hit the first man, but only half cleared. Ahmad to De Ligt, who tries to drag back against Foden. That was a bit of a Freaky Friday reversal there, as De Ligt tried a Foden-esque trick against Foden, and Foden said, no, thank you, and took that ball away from him. Into the final 5 minutes of this first half. It's been a curious Manchester derby so far. Joško Gvardiol with the only goal of it. City lead 1-0. Here's Dalla. Dalla being tracked by Walker. That's better from Kyle Walker. Just stood his ground and won the ball back. Flags up in any case. And City are going to have this free kick. Well, City in front this time. They had to come from behind twice last weekend as they drew 2-2 at Crystal Palace. They have only managed 2 clean sheets in their last 14 Premier League appearances, and Paul Parker, United have done enough so far to suggest they can do some damage.
Yeah, they've threatened. The bit where it hasn't worked so far for them is in that final third again, really. Defensively, I think they've been good. Midfield-wise, I think they've done really well in there competitively, you know, not allowing City to break through them. And everything going forward, they've kept the ball well and get into that final third, and that's where they're lacking that little bit of more consistent kind of, well, making creativity, I'm going to say. That's the bit they've lacked. They just haven't done enough. They haven't worked Edison.
Early days, of course, with Ruben Amorim. There's this rather wayward pass back to Onana, who comes to the edge of his area and has lost it, and then De Bruyne tried to catch him out on the way back in, and Onana able to just move a few steps to his right and catch it. That's Rowie forward towards Hoyland now. Vardiol will get there first, but Hoyland did well. He affected him there. Vardiol knew he was storming towards him, so just put that straight out of play for a throw to United, and that keeps them on the front foot.
He was waiting for contact there. He wanted the contact to get a foul, and because he threatened it, then pulled away, he took his eye off the ball.
Amazes me that attacking players who are pressing don't do that more, because you see so often coaches are screaming, no foul, no foul, and then they'll just foul them. So why have you let them out?
Well, I mean, it's 9 times out of 10, it's not even a foul, it's just a bit of contact.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's the break contact where you put your arm up to keep a distance.
Yeah.
And as soon as he feels that on the back, he goes down, and referees go for it. And you think somewhere along the line, referees and assistants are going to get clued in and understand it.
Well, Hoyland was quite smart there, wasn't he? He actually put the brakes on and said, look, I'm here, but I'm not going to foul you. I'm not going to let you get out of this. For all of the threat they've offered, United, they've not had a shot on target so far. 44th minute of the Manchester derby here on Premier League Live. It is Manchester City 1, Manchester United 0. Here's Mainu to Ahmad, and offside. It's the one criticism you might have of Ahmad so far, but it might be of his teammates, actually. He's been caught offside a fair bit, but sometimes that's that ball not getting there quickly enough, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's the problem. They're not giving the ball enough. He's the outlet where you know that if you get him in the right area, he can make something happen. They're not giving him the ball early enough. That's the problem.
Ruben Amorim was full of praise for City. Said the great team's ready to respond at any moment. They're in a better place than us in terms of understanding the game, the way they play, the confidence they have. Said we have a lot of issues. I'm just focused fully on our team. He also did deny stories about talking to City about possibly being Pep Guardiola's successor before he made the move to United. Said that wasn't true at all. Foul here on Ugarte by Haaland, and if it had been, Haaland would have been able to rumble into the penalty area, but Anthony Taylor whistles it dead.
I'm just turning around, and I believe that's back. Ooh. Well,
we've had another look on the monitor. It was a little bit more of a sizable body check than it seemed first time.
But I mean, you're looking size of him. You're still looking at strength and stature there, and he's actually got onto the ball. He was actually on the ball, and so it was a strength issue.
If that had been me, I'd have had to pick up my ribs off the floor, I think. Here's Dalot coming down the left-hand side. Works it to Martinez. And then just a lack of concentration from Bruno Fernandes, of all people. Just let it roll over his boot, but now it's back with Dalot. We're in stoppage time at the end of the half. United have been in the game, but once again undone from a corner and not yet had a shot on target. 4 minutes of added time we'll have. Back it goes to Walker. First time clearance from the right back zone up towards De Bruyne. De Bruyne tangling with Martinez, and that's going to be a City throw. Pep Guardiola's won 16 of his 27 career clashes with United as a coach, including a couple of Champions League final victories. He's in a funny mood today.
He is.
We've seen him on the touchline a couple of times, and he's just waved to the touchline camera.
It's a little bit petulant, isn't he?
Weird reaction to the goal that City scored.
Wasn't happy, was he, for some, or didn't show he was happy.
But in the nicest possible way. It was interesting. There's a journalist who covers City a lot and has done for a few years, and he was asked, does it feel to you like Pep Guardiola's feeling the strain? And he said, well, look, in the nicest possible way, he's quite an odd man. Like, he's always done this. I think people are just focusing on that part of it, all the dramatic stuff, the histrionics, because they're losing games. But actually, that kind of unusual touchline behaviour, the weird things he says in press conferences, it's kind of always been there.
Yeah.
He does have that mad genius vibe about him, and he always has had. It's going to be a free kick on the far side, the City right. De Bruyne stamps over it, raises his right arm, plays it in right-footed. Oh dear, he's just ballooned that out of play. I know I've said it before, but honestly, if you told me that the real Kevin De Bruyne was being trapped in a basement somewhere and that turned out to be a guy who was wearing a Kevin De Bruyne costume, I wouldn't be massively surprised. I don't think I've seen a half like this from him.
No.
Just ballooning free kicks. I mean, obviously he had the cross for the goal, but even that was deflected. Strange first half from him. He'll go and score a second half hat-trick now, you watch. Here's Dalot in the left-back zone. He's giving it away to Foden. What was he thinking there? Played it right across the edge of his own penalty area.
I must say, Dallo always has a moment, and he's waited to the 47th minute to have his moment.
It's a very strange decision, that was. It's cardinal sin 101, that. It's good one. No harm done by Dallo there to the United cause. United trailing 1-0. A goal from Joško Gvardiol. He's 9th as a Manchester City player. He only joined at the start of last season. He's got 4 in all competitions this season. It's his 4th in the Premier League this term.
I saw him last season. He scored 2 at Fulham.
Yeah.
And he should have had a hat-trick, but he wouldn't take the penalty.
Didn't take the penalty, yeah, absolutely. Here's Doku. Would have been the first ever Premier League defender to score a hat-trick. Here's Doku's cross to the far post. Bernardo Silva out-jumped by Dallo. Now it's Foden, 20 yards out. Lovely chop, left foot shot! Oh, and it goes just wide on the far post. It took a deflection. I think Onana might have got a touch on that, actually, to send it around the post.
And then we've seen Phil Foden again for the second time in and around the box. Good, neat control. Everything tight feet, and he did get a touch of Nana as well, didn't he?
I think he's actually done really well, because it takes quite a big deflection off Harry Maguire, and that's spinning just onto the base of the post, I think. And then Onana makes sure, but you never know what will happen if it hits the post and bounces out. The goalkeeper's missed it, then suddenly you might be in trouble. Here's another City corner. De Bruyne over it, plays it short, finds Doku. Doku into the area, back out to De Bruyne. De Bruyne onto his left foot now, goes a long way round, goes down, wins the free kick, but Martinez let him out of jail there, really, because I don't think De Bruyne was really going anywhere. Martinez looked shocked by the whole affair, but it was a clumsy challenge that he didn't really need to make.
He didn't really want it on that left side either. Martinez has decided that he's going to put his arm up and go a little bit physical, and it was needless, to be perfectly honest.
It's another set play, it's another test here for Manchester United. City have claimed 27 points this season, worst tally after 15 games for 14 years. Roberto Mancini in charge the last time they did that. Here's De Bruyne from the left though with the free kick. Chips it to the edge of the area. Oh dear, he was looking for Foden. And it bounces through, and that's half-time. Joško Gvardiol's header. The difference at the moment, United have had some moments, but yet to have a meaningful shot on target. And in this battle of out-of-form teams, it is the hosts who lead. Manchester City 1, Manchester United 0. And you're listening to Premier League Live.
Want to listen to Sirius XM FC when you get out of the car? Tyler Terrens has a solution for you.
Brand new Sirius XM app. It is how I digest all of my FC material.
All of your favorite FC shows.
Grumpy Pundits, Football Show, Counterattack, WTF,
and more. Just one click away.
Download the app, and then you will get all of these 3-hour soccer.
How's it going, my fellow Manchester United and SOP fans? Hope everyone is enjoying the stream this evening. This is a massive game, as I said at the start of the stream, because it's Manchester United versus Arsenal. We need to get these 3 points, so hopefully we have a good second half here under the new manager Ruben Amorim. Now, I am here to offer a service to you guys. What I do is take people's teams on EAFC 25, starting from ground zero all the way to the top, by offering a Division Rivals or FUT Champion service, or for some people, both. Now, what this means is I get the highest ranks in Division Rivals and FUT Champions. DM me on Twitter. My Twitter is @TrueKiller_. I'm sure it's in the description. You can see me in the chat. But come on, United, let's go.
Out there. Yeah, that's it. Way out there. Choose your calling. Choose the ones you love. Good boy. Choose your path. Choose to make something. Choose loud. Actually, choose quiet. Choose to feel it. Just choose. We craft cars for those who choose to do more than simply move. You know who you are. Mazda. Move and be moved.
I wake up. Head over to NFLshop.com for the largest collection of officially licensed gear from all your favorite brands. NFL Shop is your ultimate gifting destination for jerseys, t-shirts, headwear, and more. Take your game day style to the next level with the best selection of NFL gear anywhere. Show off your team pride this holiday season with styles fit for the whole family. To shop now, go to NFLshop.com.
Hi, everyone. This is Heisman Trophy winner and NFL quarterback Doug Flutie. I'm excited to tell you that my podcast, the Flutie Flakes Cast, is back for the entire football season. I may have played like 21 years of professional football in 3 different leagues, but I'm still just a big kid, and I absolutely love this game. Every week, we'll talk about the topics I care about and bring on super fun guests. So please subscribe today wherever you stream your podcast or listen on the SXM app, included with most subscriptions.
Half-time in the Manchester derby on Premier League Live. It is 1-0 to Manchester City. And here's how you heard the first half. Gundogan to De Bruyne. His cross deflected, and the free header for Joško Gvardiol. Bit of fortune in the way the cross deflected to him. United seem to stand still, and Joško Gvardiol, who for a defender has become a bit of a goal machine for City, has given them the lead.
What's up, SO peeps? My goodness, we have an OG in the house. Ryan, my man, how have you been? So great to see you, Ryan. Wow. Some of the original SO peeps in the house. Love it, man. I've been great. I have been absolutely amazing. Toronto Sports Insider has just been going absolutely bonkers. So now we are back here on SOP making things happen with my buddy True Killer on EAFC, Discord, Twitter. Check him out. You saw the ad there. And man, this is, we're going to turn something really special here on SOP, doing every single Manchester United game live here on SOP Soccer. And then, yes, Ryan, rocking my SOP shirt. Thanks again for it, Ryan. It is amazing that somebody is actually still wearing a Sons of a Pitch soccer shirt other than me or Nick. But actually just talked to Nick a few weeks ago. He's doing great. It's great to be catching up with everybody and going on. Ryan, thank you for stopping by the live, man, and saying hi. Really, really cool. Now, I got to get some stuff done for the TSI lives today, because we have the Buffalo Bills against the Detroit Lions, as well as the Leafs and the Sabres on TSI tonight at the same time, while I'm at a futsal game for my son. But that's kind of what's made this whole journey so special, is I've been able to turn the YouTube thing into something that I can run while still being a dad and a husband. So that's why that is still happening the way it is. But big shout out to Darcy and his friends there at the party he was on last night, or at last night. Good to see you, my man. Thank you for sending those pictures in. They're true. And tell your friends to stop by and hit that thumbs up button. Now, let's get back to the second half. Let's go, Man U. We got to get back in this one. And Ryan, cheers. An imaginary cheers, man, because I don't have any. I don't even have a coffee. I have renovations going up upstairs. I have not had a cup of coffee in like 3 weeks, and I'm dying. Cheers, SO peeps. We'll see you back in there. Go, Man U, go.
Manchester United and SOP fans, hope everyone is enjoying the stream this evening.
God damn it. Thank you, Connor. Appreciate it, man.
And you saw something positive that come from him at the end of it. So yes, in patches, yes, and that tells you where City are. We're talking about maybe their most accomplished player in 45 minutes was coming into the game in patches.
Again, a guy who's recently returned from injury. There's been a game already in the Premier League today. It was Brighton against their local rivals, as they see it, Crystal Palace. Let's see what happens with Ben Jacobs.
Brighton 1, Crystal Palace 3, a deserved win for Crystal Palace that moves them to 15th in the table. Trevor Chalobah, who's on loan from Chelsea, opened the scoring from a corner on 27 minutes, reacting first in the box to scramble the ball home. And just 6 minutes later, the excellent Tyreek Mitchell put in a peach of a cross from the left-hand side. That is Melassar headed home at the back post. Brighton huffed and puffed and controlled the possession overall, and they started the second half really strongly, but Palace just found a way to weather the storm, with Dean Henderson making a few important saves. And then on 82 minutes, Sarr got his second goal when he got his head to the ball ahead of Lewis Dunk and put himself clean through, finishing coolly past Bart Verbruggen. Brighton did get a late consolation from a corner of their own when Mark Gahey put through his own net at the near post, but they weren't clinical enough to deserve anything from the game. Palace are now unbeaten in 5 and are 4 points clear of the bottom 3. Full time from the Amex Stadium, where it's finished. Brighton 1, Crystal Palace 3.
Let's get a bit of reaction then after that game and hear from the Brighton boss, Fabian Hutzler.
It was the first performance where you really can say that we were not happy about that. So we just the process. We see it as a challenge to find the right conclusions out of this game and keep working.
Got some games later on for you, including game between Chelsea and Brentford. Now, if Chelsea win that West London derby, they will move on to 34 points and would be just 2 points behind the leaders, Liverpool. Jadon Sancho has been improving. He's been talking about working for the coach, Enzo Maresca.
You know, it's always nice to feel supported while you're playing. And but again, he's played the game as well, so he has a lot to offer and give us advice on what to do and not do. So
Paul Parker still alongside me. Paul, Chelsea spent £1 billion and they've got a decent squad. Who knew? Imagine that.
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, and everyone was laughing at it, what was going on. But I mean, Pochettino done great in the end.
Yeah.
He done absolutely great to turn it around to what he did. And the present manager's come in, and initially, and I know a lot of Chelsea fans, they were calling him, dare I say it, Poundland Pep.
Yeah.
That's what they were calling him initially. And what he's gone and done, he's just made his mark, which I think a manager needs, and just said, I'm using them, the others can go over there. Chilwell, everyone, all of those names, go over there, I'm not interested.
Is that what Graham Potter should have done? And managers like that should have just said, you know what, there's too many players here, you and you can all stay, the rest of you off.
Yeah, I think so. What have you got to lose by? At least you're going down, doing it your way.
Yeah.
And Maresco's come in and he's just gone bang. And I'm shocked. I didn't think that was going to happen, because Leicester just tumbled over the line to get up, to get into the league, and wow, they've gone. And he's virtually been his only weakness within that team when they play. I just look what happens in the middle of defence, because they have got some shocking centre halves. One of them, Colwill, for me, is the main one. Who plays next to him is the key, really. The full-back areas they've covered well, and then everything else for me has been worked out well. The best thing is Nicholas Jackson has improved and improved. Always going to be a nightmare, but he's a lesser nightmare than what he was last season.
Second half of the Manchester derby coming up right here on Premier League Live.
Are you ready?
From the excitement of the squared circle to the chaos of the cage.
Down goes the champion!
And the stunning moments of the sweet science. Your home for the best coverage of combat sports is SiriusXM Fight Nation, Channel 156.
If you don't know, now you know.
Soccer fans, SiriusXM FC is your home for extensive coverage of the beautiful game with a daily lineup of soccer talk hosted by former players, coaches, and more. Listen in weekday mornings to The Football Show with Ray Hudson and Charlie Stilitano for expert analysis of the top leagues around the world, including the UEFA Champions League and their picks for the Players of the Week, presented by Pulisic on Paramount Plus. Hear it on SiriusXM FC channel 157 and catch the all-new original docu-series Pulisic, presented by Michelob Ultra, now streaming exclusively on Paramount Plus.
An all-new, all-access Paramount Plus original docu-series.
Christian Pulisic is captain of the U.S. national team.
Take a sneak peek into my trailer.
Following America's captain.
Soccer brings out a different character in me.
On his quest for global victory.
Captain America has taken his team on his shoulders.
Balancing fame.
Christian's never wanted the spotlight.
And the game.
These are the goals that create legends.
I want to be the best player in the world.
Pulisic, presented by Michelob Ultra. New docu-series, now streaming exclusively on Paramount Plus.
Head over to NFLshop.com today for the largest collection of officially licensed gear from all your favorite brands. NFL Shop is your ultimate destination for the official NFL sideline collection, worn by players and coaches on game day. Explore the same sideline and on-field gear worn by your favorite players and coaches at NFL Shop. To shop now, go to NFLshop.com.
Remember when a handshake meant something? When service came with a smile and expertise you could trust? That's the Werner way. We've been navigating the twists and turns of the transportation and logistics industry for 68 years. We're still here, still committed to getting your precious cargo from point A to point B, with customized solutions and exceptional service at our core. We'll deliver your goods with the same care and precision we've been known for nearly 7 decades. Delivering beyond expectations. That's the Werner difference. Learn how at selectwerner.com.
Hey soccer fans, Chris Whittingham here to announce a new show now airing on SiriusXM FC featuring comedian Russell Howard.
That's right, Chris. From the folks who brought you Smartless, it's Goalless, a new soccer podcast highlighting everything that makes soccer beautiful and funny.
We'll kick around the biggest stories from the world of football featuring analysis, laughs, and great guests.
Join us for all the fun on Goalless, Thursday nights at 9 Eastern on SiriusXM FC 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
You're listening to TalkSport's coverage of Manchester City against Manchester United from the Etihad Stadium. I'm your host, Kevin Hatchard, alongside me, the former Manchester United defender, Paul Parker. This is Premier League Live. So it is 1-0 to City at half-time. A goal from Joško Gvardiol, a header from a corner. After the corner was played short, the deflected cross found Gvardiol at the far post. Manchester United already forced into one change. Mason Mount went off injured after just 12 minutes. Kobe Mainoo came on for him. Bruno Fernandes moving further forward in the formation. As for City, no changes for them at this stage. So let me run through their team. Ederson in goal, Kyle Walker, Ruben Diaz and Joško Gvardiol, the back three. Bernardo Silva, Ilkay Gundogan, Phil Foden and Kevin De Bruyne in a central area with Jeremy Doku and Mateus Nunes, the wide players. Nunes, if you look at his average positions, if you like, has pretty much been a left back for a lot of the game, and Erling Haaland is the striker. United now with Onana in goal, Lisandro Martinez, Matthias de Ligt, Harry Maguire as the back three, Diogo Dalot, Manuel Ugarte, Kobe Mainoo and Nusaya Mazraoui across the centre, with Bruno Fernandes and Ahmad supporting Rasmus Højlund in attack. If United were to lose tonight, they would be on 19 points from 16 games. They'd only be 7 points above the bottom three. City would move on to 30 points. It would mean that United would already be 11 points off the Champions League spots. Paul Parker alongside me for this one. Paul, regardless of what happens in this half, what's a good target for Ruben Amorim between now and the end of the season? Do you bother setting something in the league, or do you just say, actually, I just want the performances to be better by the time we get to the summer?
I would look at that and just have to say is that United are going to finish mid-table.
Right.
I think that's got to look at it. At one point I was talking about at least going for that last spot, being the Conference Cup, but Conference League, sorry. But I'm looking at it now, and I don't think the way they're doing it at the moment, they're not going to get there. There's going to be a battle to get there. Some will say they don't want to be in it, to be out of Europe. Manchester United as a club should always be in Europe if there's an opportunity.
Absolutely.
So I'm sure the manager's going to want to be in Europe as well. He's been blessed with the opportunity of playing in Europe for Sporting Lisbon. So just to have a season without any European football, he's not going to enjoy it, and there'll be more expectations on them, expectancies, if they're not in Europe as well.
Absolutely, free week every week to train and prepare. So it'll be United to get us back underway at the Etihad in this second half, playing from right to left in this second period in their red shirts and black shorts, attacking the goal away to our left-hand side. City in their familiar light blue shirts, white shorts, playing from left to right. United have lost on their last 3 league visits to the Etihad. They've not lost 4 straight league games at City since the 1950s. Ruben Amorim desperate to avoid that particular stat, but what he's more interested in is seeing a performance from his team, and they weren't too far short of the champions in that first half, but undone yet again at a set play. That's the difference at the moment. Here's Kobbie Mainoo, the 19-year-old local lad who understands this fixture. If you are just joining us, by the way, one piece of team news that was really interesting was that Alejandro Garnacho and Marcus Rashford, both fit, but both left out of the squad entirely. Here's Mazraoui just to the right of the centre circle. Ruben Amorim, the new manager of Manchester United, said that was his decision, and it was as simple as that. Didn't feel that they should be in the squad. Said they trained well earlier in the week. Played by Fernandes to Højlund, lays it off to Mazraoui. Right corner of the penalty area, out to Ahmad. Ahmad low ball into Mainoo, trying to turn. Kobbie Mainoo's done really well here. Flicks it to Mazraoui, and actually the flag's up. And it all breaks down for Manchester United, but again, at least getting into the City penalty area.
They got in there again, but they just can't get a shot off. City crowded them out in the end. I will say, just going back to Rashford and Garnacho, when you look at the way United have played, their ball retention's been very good. When you talk about 2 players have been disappointing when in possession of the ball, those are the 2 names you'd come up with. Their decision-making with the ball from both of them is poor. Everything about the players at this moment, their decision-making has been good. It's just a bit at the ends when it's just, don't know so much about decision-making, it's just the fact of creativity comes into it, which is a big, big problem that's been going on since 2013.
Long ball from Onana sails over the head of Nusaya Mazraoui. Jeers from the home fans. United have lost their last 2 league games against Arsenal and Nottingham Forest. It's the 4th time in 2024 they've lost back-to-back league games. Ruben Amorim, who's just on his haunches on the touchline with his head in his hands at the moment, he's never lost 3 straight league matches in his coaching career. He did so well at Braga in the first couple of months that he persuaded Sporting to pay €10 million to break him out of his contract there. Won the League Cup in Portugal in his first few weeks in charge of Braga. And he'd already shown promise at the unheralded Casa Pia, even when he didn't have his coaching badges at that stage. He was a very successful player. Won 3 league titles with Benfica as a player. And he's won 2 Primera Liga titles as a coach. But can he turn this juggernaut around? Here is Lisandro Martinez for his Manchester United. Rolls it out to Dalot, tight to the left touchline, back to Martinez. City not pressing too furiously here, just lying in wait for United as De Ligt brings it forward, rolls it out to the right touchline, and Mazraoui, that's a nice trick to take him away from the challenge of Foden, and then a low ball down the channel looking for Højlund, and it needed a really good stretch from Gvardiol to just toe-end it away from the Danish striker, and now City have it back. Excellent defending there by Joško Gvardiol, whose goal separates the teams. 49 on the watch in the Manchester derby. City 1, United 0, and City have given the ball away cheaply. Here's Bruno Fernandes out to Ahmad, inside right channel. Nunes trying to get back to him, edge of the area here. Ahmad, he waits. Left foot shot was blocked, and then it breaks for Jeremy Doku, and he's lost it to Mazraoui. Good counter press from Manchester United. Fernandes wide on the right, roundly booed. Of course, you'd expect that Doku brings it away, runs into Mainu, and it's absolute chaos at the Etihad. Forward to De Bruyne, he's lost it again. Just a rudimentary error from De Bruyne. Never seen anything quite like it. And then Bernardo Silva is pushed over. That's a free kick to City. Paul Parker, what on earth is going on with Kevin De Bruyne?
I've got no idea. He's not caught up with the game at all, is he really? Someone who expects the way he is, just his football IQ, you'd expect him just to float in, even being 50% fit. But at this moment, he's getting caught in possession, sloppy with his passing, and two things I never thought I'd ever say about him, to be perfectly honest.
One of the greatest players in European football. Suddenly looks like he's won a raffle to play, but of course, he's not fully fit. That's a big issue. City have lost it again. Bernardo Silva goes down. Of course, De Bruyne has earned the right to have the odd bad game here and there, considering what he's contributed, not just to City, but to Wolfsburg before that, in German football, to Werder Bremen actually. Even before that, he's been a top player for club and country for a long, long time. But that knock comes to us all eventually. Really interesting to see what happens in the summer, whether City look to retain him or whether he moves on. He's been linked persistently with a move to Saudi League. He's been linked with MLS. He's
clothing coming out now.
Is there now?
Sandbanks. Oh, clothing, yes.
All right, okay.
Yeah, Jamie and his brother.
Fernandes skipping away from a couple of challenges, goes down. It's the free kick. Oh dear. Bruno Fernandes is giving it straight to Haaland. That was careless. And now Doku trying to get away from De Ligt, and he has done. De Ligt gets back at him into the area. Doku, but he settles for the corner. It's not quite as decisive as usual, Jeremy Doku. Normally he'd be trying to run at him again, but he let that run for the corner, and a chance for City to put some pressure on.
Yeah, that was, I don't know what Fernandes was thinking there. He's normally going around telling people to calm down, and when you needed him to be calm with a free kick inside their own half, he decides to do it early and gives it away.
Played low by De Bruyne this time to Doku. Doku goes out to Gundogan, back out to De Bruyne. Right-footed cross, that's volleyed away again. A poor ball by De Bruyne. And again, Fernandes is there to clear. It's in the centre circle now for Mateus Nunes. Nunes lays it off to Foden. Of course, the big miss for Manchester City at the moment is Rodri. Such an important player for City and for Spain, of course. And since his injury that he picked up against Arsenal, only Southampton, who are bottom of the Premier League, have given up more clear-cut chances than City. And since the start of last season, City's win percentage, when they don't have Rodri in the Premier League, drops from 77% to 50%. That's pretty significant.
Yes. But you can, and the thing about it though, you're watching a game, you're watching City play, and you can actually see it. You can see he's not there.
It's just that ability to keep the ball, that ability to stop counter-attacks, that ability to just hold the centre in the way that Fernandinho used to do for them to great effect. They haven't had Kovacic recently either.
No, he's a bit of a miss as well, I must say.
Very experienced player. Here's Fernandes, rolls it forward to Mazraoui on the right-hand side of the area, back to Ahmad, tight to the touchline. He sparkled at times, Ahmad, in the first half. Now Bruno Fernandes, forward to Mazraoui. Back to Fernandes, first time cross, and that's awful from Fernandes.
He doesn't care, he knows that Kevin De Bruyne can do that as well, pull it straight out of play from that deep position.
It's like a competition between the two of them.
It is.
Very odd.
The two key players either side, and they're both of them are, there is a rhyming slang for it, I'm just going to say they're both playing poorly.
Yes, I think that's good that you avoided the rhyming slang there.
Oh, it's nothing rude, it's just,
no, of course.
Just that it wouldn't be understood really.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Something to do with Pony and Trap maybe.
No.
Here is Haaland wrestling away with Maguire. And it goes to Dalot in his left-back zone, chased by Bernardo Silva, works it infield to Lisandro Martinez, the pocket rocket in that back line for Manchester United. Now it's fired out to Mazraoui. He's having another good game, actually, Mazraoui. down that right-hand side. He's kept Doku pretty quiet so far. He's carried the ball well. Here's Kobbie Mainoo, just jabs it forward to Ugarte, but again, it's all a little bit slow from United, but they are at least keeping possession. Mazraoui into Ahmad, 10 minutes gone in the second half of the Etihad in this Manchester derby. Two teams low on confidence, out of form, and it's City who lead with a header in the first half from Joško Gvardiol. The 8th Premier League goal this season United have conceded from a corner. But United will feel they can score. They've scored in 10 of their last 15 Premier League games. They are yet to have a shot on target, and we're now in the 57th minute of this Manchester derby. But City more vulnerable than usual. They've already made more errors leading to opposition shots than they made in the entirety of the season in 4 of the last 5 campaigns. They're the first reigning English champions since 1956 to lose 5 competitive games in a row. These are unusual times at the Etihad, but United have given it away, trying to counter-press, but Foden skips away from Mazraoui. That was lovely, and he's found Doku. Doku will run at De Ligt, but Mazraoui very quick to get back into his position. He looks like one of the very few players on the pitch right now, Mazraoui, who actually is confident, who is puffing his chest out.
Oh, I mean, I think he does it in every single game. He's playing in that right wing-back role, and he's just really helping out De Ligt. I don't mean that disrespectful to De Ligt. I mean, De Ligt's done a really good job, but he's made it easy for him because he's dealing one-on-one with Doku. De Ligt hasn't really got to get involved and be taken away from his role.
It was a lovely ball to find Foden between the lines there in that little number 10 position. He tried to just poke it through to Haaland, but United dealt with the danger. Here's Nunes on this left-hand side, and Nunes overruns it, and Mainoo gets him out of jail by fouling him.
Well,
not quite getting the Nunes thing on that left-hand side.
No, it's not working at all. I think we're going to see the ball hogger coming, aren't we, soon?
Are you referring to Jack Grealish?
Yes.
Here's Nunes out to that left touchline for Doku. And Grealish started the game against Juventus in Turin on Wednesday. It was a strangely anemic performance from him. Out it goes now to Nunes on that left-hand side. He's muscular without the ball. He does work hard, Nunes. He has virtually been a left-back at times tonight, but hasn't really been able to affect the game going forward. Here is Gundogan, though, after Nunes won a free kick. Here he is again, the Portuguese. Plays it low to Foden, 20 yards out. Foden wriggles away from one challenge into the box. He's got De Ligt for company. Lays it off to Gundogan. Gundogan urged to shoot by the crowd, but he moves to his left and finds Nunes. Just shy of the left corner of the penalty area, low ball into the box, and that's cleared. And now De Ligt should clear right-footed, and does. Out into the advertising hoardings on the far side, although it's actually kept in very well on that far side by Gvardiol, although I don't think he needed to keep it in. And now Mainoo has won it, but then loses it just as quickly. Two teams that are wrestling with themselves as much as each other in this Manchester derby. And here's Nunes over the top for Haaland, who couldn't catch up with it. Just stretched out a big, long right leg, but couldn't bring that ball under his spell.
Very fortunate for Harry Maguire there. He was rooted to the spot as that ball just floated or hooked over his head.
Space here for Højlund in the inside left channel, wrestling with his man. He's done well. Lays it off for Dalot. Well, it came off a City player, says Anthony Taylor, but I'm not sure Dalot knew that. He let the ball run away from him, but worked out as a Manchester United throw. We're approaching the hour here on Premier League Live. Here's Ahmad skipping into the area, but Gvardiol's there to sweep it away. But Ahmad, of all the players in red out there, looks the most likely to make something happen out of nothing. Does have that quality, he's raw. That's understandable.
Fearless.
He's only 22. He was absolutely brilliant against Liverpool last season in that extraordinary FA Cup tie that I actually think sparked Liverpool's collapse last season. Liverpool were dominating in the game. Ahmad scored the winning goal late on and was later sent off. But the Manchester United fans absolutely love him. And he is the kind of entertainer that fans do naturally take to. Here's Mazraoui working back to Maguire. And the two teams just jabbing at each other at the moment, really. And nobody landing a knockout punch at the moment, but it is Manchester City ahead on the cards. After an hour, 1-0 up, thanks to Joško Gvardiol's first half header. Ball gets away from Mainu, but he wins it back. Just slows it down again. United trying to play with control, but a little bit stuck in third gear at the moment. Here's Ahmad, tight to the right touchline. It's possession without penetration at the moment for Ruben Amorim's team. Although the City fans aren't enjoying this.
No, they're not. No, they're gone. All the noise is coming from United fans. At this moment in time, they're the ones making all the noise.
United, of course, who have won major trophies in the last couple of seasons. League Cup 2 seasons ago, they won the FA Cup against Manchester City last term, both under Erik ten Hag. Of course, Ruben Amorim has already beaten City this season. His Sporting team won 4-1 against them in the Champions League. Can he produce a comeback win here? Lisandro Martinez motoring over halfway, finds Dalot, tight to the left touchline. He's got Fernandes for company, and here he is, his fellow Portuguese, in his right foot, curling ball into the area, and the header by Ahmad is brilliantly tipped around the post by Ederson. Far and away the best save he's had to make, and United threatening, but it's only a corner.
Yeah, I mean, he's done well to get his head to it, and I'll tell you what, all it was just a header guided towards, just a smidgen of a touch on it, and it might have just sneaked in off the inside of that left-hand post.
Ederson had to get there on his 350th Manchester City appearance. Here's the corner from Fernandes. The heads go up, De Ligt got a touch to it. Now it's with Ugarte wide on the left-hand side. The Uruguayan lays it off to Martinez. Martinez with the curling cross. De Ligt was beaten to it. Now to Bruyne, tries to bring it away. There was a suspicion that he just touched that with his arm, but the referee saw no case to answer. Nice piece of skill from Martinez to take him away from the City challenge. Now Mainu on the left, works it in field to Ugarte, and now it's with Lisandro Martinez tight to the left touchline, up the line to Mainu. Mainu now chased by a couple of City players, jabs the ball in field towards Dalot, but Dalot can't bring the ball under his spell, and Haaland, like an old school Sunday League centre-half, just bangs it upfield. Have that. Here's Martinez trying to work it down the inside left channel, chested down by Højlund. Højlund goes down under the challenge of Ruben Diaz. It's a goal kick, nothing more than that. Diaz urges Højlund to get to his feet.
He shouldn't be doing that, by the way. Diaz trying to knock him up, but I mean, to be honest, he does go down far too easy. You actually needed him to be stronger there, get the ball under control quicker, and then try and do a job. But all he's doing is started off looking for the penalty, and he saw that Anthony Taylor, saw his first touch of his chest weren't good enough. And I don't know where he's got that injury from on his top of his shin, I really don't know, but should be better. Diaz doesn't actually get, both of them just, as we say, coming together of two big bodies.
Yeah, I mean, it's a leg and cross, but it's not foul in any way, shape or form.
He was never in control of the ball. He was never going to get there. He's actually thrown himself forward. He's left his legs behind.
It's a very curious one there.
Yeah.
Højlund back on his feet, no problem. Now trying to close Diaz down. Ooh, Ederson took a chance there, but he managed to get the ball away before Fernandes could close him down. He is a heart-in-mouth goalkeeper, Ederson, sometimes, but he often gets away with it. And that's the beauty of a goalkeeper like that. You want to break the press, and that's how you do it. You bait the opposition in, and then you beat them. But he leaves it to the last microsecond sometimes, and here he is again, just firing the ball out towards the right wing for City, but Dalot wins the header. That header from Ahmad, by the way, United's first effort on target, and then Ederson just banged it upfield, flicked on by Haaland. He was looking for De Bruyne. De Ligt got there ahead of De Bruyne all the way back to Onana, and now it's his turn to show his silky skills, and he's actually done well. Chipped it over the head of Silva, finding Dalot in the left-back zone, and now a nice turn by Ugarte. He's taken a couple of players out there.
Oh, I mean, I must say, as well, I mentioned two players I think have been really good under the new manager, but I tell you what, Ugarte has been very good as well, in a different fashion to the other two.
Yeah, with Ugarte, it's interesting. He is what he is, right? He's not going to score goals. He's not going to set up goals. It's not what he's in the team for. But he'll keep the ball.
Yeah.
He'll tackle like his life depends on it. It's kind of what you need sometimes.
Yes. I mean, I must say, this is, when you're on about ball retention, this is the best Manchester United have been for about 5-6 years. Up against a top side
and
as well.
You need that control, don't you? You have to have that control. And this does feel like Amorim putting early building blocks into his team.
Yeah, there seems to be more energy about them as well. Some of them want to run a little bit more, this team, than what they have done in previous seasons.
I think the first mistake Mazraoui's made, though. He chipped it straight to Bernardo Silva and he raced forth and was tripped up. That's going to be a free kick, foul by Ugarte.
The annoying thing that does me, I think you have a look at this and he's actually made contact with the ball there. But Bernardo Silva's got his foul and he's more upset that he ain't getting, Ugarte's not getting booked.
Yeah.
That's the thing that's upsetting, really upsetting. I was talking about him, now he's coming on.
So Mateo Kovacic, who's been struggling with injury of late, hugely experienced player, is going to come on for City. They've been managing his minutes of late. Guy who won trophies with Chelsea, with Real Madrid. He's won 108 caps for Croatia. We talk about Luka Modric. He's not too far behind him in terms of caps. In the grand scheme of things, City have just given the ball away really cheaply, but then got it back. Gundogan, edge of the area, goes down. Referee says get up. And then United dozily gave it away. Here's De Bruyne, left foot shot over the top. That was absolute chaos there. Players giving the ball away, players losing concentration. And in the end, Kevin De Bruyne firing over from the edge of the area.
Tell you what, I've seen Anthony Taylor give free kicks for less pushed aside than what I've seen there, and he doesn't give it, and I think it catches everyone out. Everyone just suddenly stops still. That's how De Bruyne's managed to get that shot off at the end.
Change here for Manchester City then, and Kevin De Bruyne is walking off, and he'll be replaced by Mateo Kovacic, and I assume, Paul, that means Bernardo Silva will move a little bit further forward in the formation, and he'll just drop Kovacic in alongside Gundogan.
Which will make City a little bit better as an attacking force with him there. I think he'll be more comfortable in there as well.
It's his 12th appearance of the season in the league. City win tonight would move them back into the top four above Nottingham Forest onto 30 points. They'd only be behind Arsenal on goal difference. And for all the talk of them being doomed and maybe at the title race, they'd be 6 points behind Liverpool, having played a game more. Here's Ahmad down the right, spears it to the far post. Dallow's got it just inside the penalty area, plays it back to Fernandes. It was a loose, bouncy first touch from Fernandes, and that invited the challenge from his compatriot Bernardo Silva. Here's Lisandro Martinez just in field from the left touchline for Manchester United, who are very much in this Manchester derby. 69th minute, City 1, United 0. It's fired over to Ahmad, who takes it in stride, but the goalkeeper, alive to the possibilities, comes out Ederson and is able to pouch it, but he's constantly looking to affect the game, Ahmad. He's got that youthful exuberance.
He's just causing so many problems. He lost that there because Diaz just used the experience. I saw he pushed the ball too far in front of him, so he's just leant into him and has allowed Ederson just to come out and claim the ball. But prior to that, he's just put the ball first touch and just beyond him, and it was a great drive across. It's just a shame Højlund wasn't in the middle. Where was your centre forward when you needed him?
Well, you know, as a fullback, the one thing you don't want is a guy that you look at and go, oh no, not him again.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. The last thing I wanted as a fullback was a wide player who constantly wanted to get him behind me all the time. It used to get, in the end, what happens is that as a defender, you end up getting lazy, and it's not lazy, but you kind of go, I don't want to be running towards my own goal. I'm going to sit back deeper, and that's when teams start playing in front of you then.
Because then they forced you back.
Yeah, exactly right. You create space in a way, and that's what he's done.
It's a lovely touch from Gundogan. He's taken out Ugarte and Martinez, and now the space for Gundogan here in the inside right channel. Got Doku on the touchline, but instead he's moved it out to the inside left channel, and Núñez shouts to Doku. Doku will square up Mazraoui. He goes past him, cross to the far post, just over the head of Haaland. Headed away by Dalot. Approaching the final 20 minutes in the Manchester derby. City 1, United 0 here on Premier League Live. Foden to Gundogan, inside right channel, 25 yards out. Chased by Fernandes. Former Dortmund player, İlkay Gündoğan. He's come back from a couple of really serious injuries in his career. Had one back problem that nearly finished him off. He had a knee injury as well. He's had to show real fortitude in his career. And he has shown time and time again what a good player he is. He's having a tough run, but there have been some nice touches tonight. Here's Walker, wearing number 2, works it in field, finds Kovacic. Kovacic forward to Gündoğan. Gündoğan dispossessed in muscular fashion by Mainu. And now back to the goalkeeper, Onana. City fans buzzing every time it goes to Onana, giving his recent nervous form, but United have managed to retain possession until it goes out for a throw to City. United, to remind you, if they lose this game, they will be 13th in the division with 19 points from 16 games. Ruben Amorim just talking to his coaching staff, rubbing that bearded chin of his. It's with Nunes now on the left touchline. He has managed to charm a lot of people, Amorim, since coming in. He speaks well, his English is outstanding, and he's been consistent in his message since arriving. It's going to take time. We're not the finished article, we're nowhere near. It could take at least a year to get even towards what we want to be, but I'd rather do that than just have short-term fixes, sticking plasters. It's not what we want. Of course, it's one thing to say, it's another to do it. Here's Højlund, miles offside, and that's going to be a free kick to Manchester City. What have you made of Højlund's performance so far?
I think it's been quite poor, not enough. Doesn't get on the ball enough, and then when he does get on the ball, he doesn't keep it, doesn't show enough to want to keep the ball enough, and he wants to go down far too easy.
Do you see enough in him though? Can you understand the potential in him?
I can see why he might just look at this season and maybe a good pre-season with him, but I still think they need to go out and get another person who can play that role.
Bernardo goes down, wins a free kick. Jack Grealish ready to enter the fray. Here is Kovacic though, they've taken it quickly. Foden's buzzed around, he's picked up some good positions tonight, but he was perhaps more dangerous in the first half than he has been in the second. 73rd minute of this Manchester derby. Manchester City 1, Manchester United 0 on Premier League Live to come. Chelsea against Brentford. Live commentary of that with Toby Gillis and Adrian Clark. Updates from Southampton and Tottenham, although that will have its own stream as well, with Ryan Bromelo. And tomorrow night, Bournemouth, who are going great guns under Andoni Iraola, they will welcome West Ham to the south coast. Julian Lopetegui still under pressure. Here is Doku. He's lost it to Mazraoui. He's tried to get back to him and he couldn't even do that. And here come United, through for Fernandes, massive chance, and Bruno Fernandes has put it wide. By far their best opportunity. Fernandes against Ederson. He lifted it beyond the goalkeeper, but also beyond the far post.
I think that's been the best passage of play in this game, by quite a way, to be perfectly honest, and it's been done by Manchester United. I would say he's onside by a fraction. The finish was a great, what he's done was a great idea. Had his head up, knew what the keeper was doing, it had to go over him. He's just directed it wrong.
That's their biggest chance by a long, long way. Yes, Ahmad had that header tipped around the post, but in terms of a huge opportunity, that was it right there for Bruno Fernandes. He's been on great form of late. 5 goals and 5 assists in his last 10 games in all competitions. He's been involved in 8 Premier League goals this term, but with the goal gaping and Ederson bearing down on him, couldn't hit the target. Here's Foden, spinning into central area for City. Rolled into the feet of Gündoğan. Gündoğan showing good strength to hold off Lisandro Martinez. Approaching the final quarter of an hour of normal time in the Manchester derby. Just the one goal scored by City in the first half. Joško Gvardiol with it. Here's Doku, trying to go on the outside of Mazraoui. Comes back on his right foot, and then he allows Mainu to come in and make the challenge. And now United can bring it away with Kobbie Mainu in his right-back zone, and he plays it with the outside of his boot up towards halfway. Good header by Gvardiol. City not allowing United out there. It is on a knife edge, this game. Here is Gundogan, away from Mainu. Finds Nunes, who's still been retained in that left wing role, despite the fact Grealish has been on the touchline waiting to come on for a few minutes. Here's Kovacic, inside left channel, midway inside the United half. Earlier today, Brighton beaten 3-1 at home by Crystal Palace. Excellent win for the Eagles, who are improving rapidly under Oliver Glasner. Here is Doku, again up against Mazraoui. Mazraoui beaten well, and here is Foden. Foden to the near post, headed away by Maguire. Kovacic to Haaland. His shot is blocked by Martinez, and the ball spins behind for a City corner.
I think that's as good as it's been for City for quite a while, to be perfectly honest. Doku stepped inside this time. It's a typical movement from City. It was just Foden getting the byline rather than De Bruyne. The ball ends up at Haaland, who's had his first real open shot at goal, but he gets blocked in the end by Martinez. As good as it's been for him in open play.
Doku with the old school ankle breaker there that left Mazraoui on his backside. And that's going to be his last act of the game. Something of a mic drop for Doku there. And he's going to be replaced by Jack Grealish, which means that Mateus Nunes is going to keep his place. Not that he's played badly, it's just that he's out of position. He hasn't really been able to affect the game in the way that he'd wish. Well, United are going to turn to Anthony, and that will raise eyebrows. But Anthony, to be fair, did play fairly well against Pilsenia in the Europa League, and he's been talked up a bit by Amorim recently.
You've got to remember, though, who he played well against.
That's true. There's always context. It's going to be a corner for City on the far side of the left. It'll be Gundogan to take it. In swinger, high hanging ball headed away by Maguire, and it dropped to Foden on the edge of the area, and he went for the left-footed volley and got right underneath it, and the ball sails over the crossbar. So Jack Grealish on for Jeremy Doku, and a triple change here for United. We're going to see Joshua Zirkzee come on, and we're going to see young Lenny Yoro, the teenage French centre-back, come on. Højlund will make way for Zirkzee. It was Højlund who made that chance for Bruno Fernandes with a lovely reverse pass. So Zirkzee, who scored 3 goals in the Premier League this season, comes on. Summer signing from Bologna.
Oh. Wow.
Mazraoui being replaced by Yoro.
That's odd.
Which is an odd one. And we're going to see Anthony come on.
Oh.
So De Ligt is off for Yoro, effectively. Mazraoui makes way for Anthony. So that's a very attacking change, really. Anthony, of course, a right winger. You'll have Ahmad ahead of him. And Yoro coming into the back three for Matthias De Ligt. Get Paul Parker's thoughts on that triple change in just a moment. But United will bring it out from the back here with Dallo. He's got Bernardo Silva for company, so he goes back to find Lisandro Martinez. And now Onana chips it out to the far side, the right. Oh dear, just boomed that straight over the head of Anthony. What's the thinking from Amorim there, do we think, Paul Parker?
Let's have a look at people again. I mean, I'm not excuse me, I'm not sure about the one with Zirkzee. I think as well the manager's got to him, and I'm looking at him now, he's got his socks up by his knees. There's no players wearing gloves. Zirkzee has got socks up to his knees. He hasn't done that since he's been with the club. I think that's the manager telling him something.
So you think even that's a little cue?
Yes.
Little body language thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
He did say, didn't he, Amorim, when he was talking about dropping Garnacho and Rashford, I'm looking at everything.
Yeah.
Absolutely every little cue.
I just don't get it. I don't know why you would allow your players at the end of the day to look scruffy. If you're not going to be the part, at least try and look the part. Socks around the ankles might work with certain people, but it definitely wasn't working with him. I just find it scruffy. And I'll go again back to my manager. He would never have allowed that. Anybody looked different, he wouldn't allow. He didn't care. We was all in it together, so we'll all, we'll all be in the same uniform, wearing a uniform.
One standard maintained across the whole
exactly
thing.
the same. Everyone's going to look different because we're all different body shapes, but we'd all wear the same.
Can Joshua Zirkzee make a difference? He was excellent for Bologna in helping them qualify for the Champions League for the first time last season. He got 11 goals and 4 assists in Serie A, but He's never been a volume goal scorer. If you look at his young career, he was a player that exploded onto the scene at Bayern, but he couldn't maintain his first team place there. Here's Anthony taking on Mateus Nunes, the Brazilian. Anthony comes infield on his favoured left foot, his very favoured left foot. And here he is again, right corner of the penalty area. He's done well. Plays it through to Ahmad. Ahmad, right edge of the penalty area, still going to the byline. Great run by Ahmad. He's found Fernandez, and Fernandez with a poor touch. It spins away from him and goes behind for a goal kick. But again, Ahmad looking dangerous, and it was Anthony who found him.
The thing about it was a lovely ball by Anthony. Ahmad done his work. He got to the byline, deliver, and he has an extra touch. That second touch, once he went past that last man to get to the byline, that's when he should have then maybe stood it up or found somebody.
And he knew as well, he kicked the post in anger. We're in the final 9 minutes of normal time in this Manchester derby. Still just the one goal in it. Blue Moon, that City anthem ringing out around the Etihad. Is it going to be a valuable victory for Pep Guardiola's team? One that would take them back into the top four and would perhaps take them back into the title race, given the fact that Liverpool have dropped points in the last couple of games, held by Newcastle, held by Fulham yesterday, although they played most of that game with 10 men. It was a hell of an effort that by Liverpool, actually. Ball by Maguire, rebounds off Grealish, one England player against another. Jack Grealish, who hasn't scored a club goal in 2024. You have to go back to December last year for the last time he scored for City. But you do feel a little bit of sympathy in the sense that he's made 20 chances for teammates in the Premier League this season. They've only scored one. If they start putting a few of those away, stats start to look a little bit better, don't they?
I'm surprised they're not putting that up against assists, and then you can blame everyone else.
Yeah, exactly.
The thing about it, he's a £100 million player and he doesn't get any criticism.
I think that's starting to happen, though. There is a big narrative about whether that money's been well spent. My argument would be that he, of course, was a prominent player when they won the treble, helped them win that Champions League, but he's dipped in 2024, no doubt about that. He's up against Anthony, another player who came in for big money but has been roundly criticised, and he lays it off here to Ahmad, finding Ugarte, time the enemy for Manchester United. Martinez, 40 yards from goal inside left channel, finds Dallo, he'll take on Walker. Walker trying to stand him up. Dallo onto his right foot, plays it back to Ugarte. Now Martinez, 25 yards out, curling cross, a good one, and headed over the top by Mainu. Right idea, nice delivery, just couldn't quite put it all together. It's a goal kick.
It was a lovely little ball put in by Martinez as well. It's just that Mainu just has arrived just right on where the ball actually, he gets caught right on the spot rather than running to meet the ball. He's actually on the spot and has to jump up, and he's up high, hits the top of his head in the end.
What's that then, Paul? Is that timing? Does he have to delay the run a little bit and then go? How can he improve?
It's just one of those things, it's reading players and just being able to see when his foot comes back, and he just maybe got a little bit anxious, and he needed that run as well because he was up against Garlibal as well, and he was never going to beat him without a run.
Flick on by Haaland to find Jack Grealish. He'll take on Maguire. Rolls it low towards the edge of the area. United players getting in each other's way, and they've put it behind for a corner. And that was all a bit of a mess from Manchester United, who've done a lot of good things in the game, but they've had their ragged moments as well. It does feel like a work in progress. Ruben Amorim has been at pains to stress that. They are going to have games where they play poorly, they are going to have games they lose, but of course at a club like Manchester United, their size and scope, wins are expected. Perhaps not today, although there are some that would argue City, given their current form, well, to some extent there for the taking. Here is Grealish's corner towards the near post, headed away by Bruno Fernandes. It drops onto the head of Gundogan, who nods it to Grealish, wearing number 10. Rolls it back to Foden. Foden to Walker. And now Nunes in this inside right channel. He's got Xerxes for company, so he has to go back to halfway, and Walker. Good press this from United. They've forced City back here to 10 yards inside their own half, and that's a bit short by Nunes. Ahmad is onto it. Goalkeeper a long way from home, and then Ahmad goes down. Penalty! A penalty to Manchester United. City, authors of their own misfortune, gave the ball away cheaply to Ahmad. It seemed like the chance had gone, but then they fouled him anyway. One big mistake after another, and it will be a golden opportunity for Manchester United to level.
Well, that was just didn't make any sense. And Núñez, he tried to make up for his own mistake, and he comes hurling in and gives away something ridiculous. Ahmad was never going to shoot from there. There was no one around him to pass to. He had to do it on his own. All he had to do is to stand his ground. He's done well to come back to recover. Be patient.
It's pure panic.
It was in the end.
Pure panic.
It must have been contact with the body because there was no contact with the feet. So it must have been the body somewhere contact. It's the only way I can see it.
It felt like a foul. Pep Guardiola knew instantly what Núñez had done because it's his mistake, it's his pass that finds Ahmed, and then Núñez thinks, right, I better go and make up for that.
Which is
but
great.
It's right to try and make up for it, but he doesn't need to swing in with the challenge because Ahmad has actually been faced up by Ederson. There's nothing he can do at that stage. If he gets in and tries to jockey him and tries to hold him up, the chance probably passes.
Oh, exactly right. The position he was in, he was wide of the goal.
So here we go then. Bruno Fernandes has scored his last 5 Premier League penalties. He has the ball in the crook of his right arm. He's up against Ederson, and he has the opportunity to draw Manchester United level. It is the Red Devils captain with the responsibility on his shoulders. The boos ring out from City fans. Fernandes takes a deep breath. He's up against Ederson. It's Bruno Fernandes who takes his time. A little stutter step and in. And Manchester United are level on Derby Day. It's only a small step in the right direction, but it is a step. And Manchester City's title defence is once again cracking. Fernandes the hero. It's 1-1.
It's what United deserve, to be perfectly honest. They haven't been outstanding in the final third, haven't peppered the goal or at all, and Ederson hasn't really had to work that hard, but when they have got there, they've caused problems, and they've got it in the end, something they do deserve. They deserve something from this game, and it's come about from their main player in that front three, which is Amad Diallo, really, who's just been cute, clever again in that final third to go and make something out of nothing. I just feel sorry for Núñez. You could see it. He was mortified on what he's gone and done.
As a former player, you must feel for him because that sheer panic that you just think, what have I done? I have to fix it. And then he made it 10 times worse.
Yeah.
Horrible moment for him. He was clearly distraught by that. Can City find another gear? This will feel like a really significant night, I think, for United if they come out of here with a point. I know that they'll still only have 20 points, but this is a situation where Ruben Amorim is trying to rebuild, trying to instill confidence. This would be a big step towards doing that. Lovely back heel from Ugarte, who's been right up there with their best players tonight. Dalot now. Well, Pep Guardiola absolutely mortified by what Núñez did, not once but twice. And here is Martinez as they look for the winner towards Ahmad over the goalkeeper. Oh, he's done it! Amazing! Ahmad has turned it around. A long ball to him. He skipped away from Ederson and from a tight angle found the far corner. How significant tonight could this be for Manchester United? And how significant a blow for Manchester City as they look to retain the title. Joy unconfined for Ahmad and Manchester United. It's City 1, United 2.
Again, he just chases anything he just chases it down. He just goes for things that most players would just give up on. That's the reason why he gets there at the end of it, because he has so much belief that he just might get something from it. And that's what he's done that so many times. He's done it last season. He's done it 3-4 times already this season. It just didn't make. He just made something virtually out of nothing, making a run in the last few minutes of a game like this when everyone's content with a point. He's going, no, I'm still going to run forward. Lovely weighted pass, I must say, by Martinez, and he's got there before Edison. And it's not the first time Edison's been caught out, is he, when he's come racing out in the last few weeks. And that first touch, just to put it up in the air, but then he doesn't catch it great. But then it still goes over the line.
The kid is very, very special. 22 years old. He's won a penalty to level it, and he has just scored a wonderful goal. Composure, quality, pure talent. And Ruben Amorim's team on the cusp of a really significant step. A victory to energise the football club, to energise the fan base, and to instill belief in a manager regarded as one of the brightest in Europe. They've made the change. Ahmad goes off. Victor Lindelof comes on. Centre-back, forwards. United now looking to traverse what remains of stoppage time. Second minute of stoppage time will have a minimum of 5. And City, having been inching towards what would have been a morale-repairing victory for them, are suddenly facing an 8th defeat in 11 competitive games. The nightmare continues for Pep Guardiola. Here is Grealish coming in off the left touchline. City stunned. It wasn't meant to be like this. Foden moving from left to right. But the bare truth of it is, City have not done enough. Flicked by Nunes, looking for Haaland, and swept up by Lindelof. Onana will clear. Can United hold on? How significant for City, for Chelsea, for Arsenal, for Liverpool. Chelsea playing later tonight in the game you can hear here on Premier League Live against Brentford. If they win the game tonight, they'll go on to 34 points. They'll be 7 ahead of Manchester City. But it's not over yet. 3rd minute of stoppage time. City fans baying for an equaliser. Kovacic spins in field off the left touchline. Grealish, he's got Euro for company. Rolls it low. Can City find a way? Kyle Walker, midway inside the United half. Out to Savinho, who's been brought on to try and find a way through. Twisting, turning. Rolls it low, finds Walker. Back out to Savinho, the summer signing. The 20-year-old. Works it to Kovacic. United trying to keep their shape, working to try and keep the champions at bay. They are still the champions. They are still a team to be feared and respected. Here's Haaland, edge of the D. Couldn't find Foden. United win it back, and then a very casual pass from Xerxes, but it got the job done. They work it back to Onana.
I think that was his first touch.
He's not really been able to get involved.
No.
He's had a good front row seat of what Ahmad's been up to, though. Here's Savinho down that right-hand side. He had 3 players around him, and he goes back to Foden. Ruben Amorim on the edge of his technical area.
Amorim.
Gesticulating.
Just think about it. Beating City twice in the season.
I think they'll be sick of the sight of him by now. Here's Nunes, out to Grealish. Nearly 4 minutes gone of the stoppage time. Curling cross, headed behind by Lindelof. Can they find a way? It's going to be a corner on the far side, the City left. Fever pitch, this Manchester derby. Time the enemy for City. Grealish's delivery, awful. Didn't clear the first man, headed away by Lisandro Martinez.
Oh, good job the camera didn't go to Pep Guardiola.
In it comes here, though. Headed away by Euro, towering header from the teenager. And now United looking to break with Anthony, tried to get there ahead of Bernardo Silva, gave him a bit of a bump. Pedersen forward to Walker, it's just got to go long. Walker hits it for all he's worth, but Onana will come and get it, and that might be that. And Paul Parker, if they do see this through, how big a night is this for Manchester United?
It's a big night, and it's a deserved night as well, because they've really played well. The added bonus is the fact of, they've got the win, because at one point in the game sitting there, they deserve to be in it, but they've gone and taken a win. They haven't stopped. They've been trying to attack. They haven't been that creative, but they've come out second half and definitely showing a lot more than what they've got in the final third. But everything that's happened starts with, and to be honest, as we've seen this evening, it's finished with Amad Diallo. He's the main one that's made it happen, this result. As a team performance, it's been as good as any performance in the last 5-6 years.
It's with Grealish. Surely the last chance. Inside left channel. Options left and right. Into Kovacic. Forward now. Foden. Edge of the area. There's no way through the red wall. And now they could bring it away with Xerxes. He'll try and get away from Kovacic, but he's leading the charge on his own here, the Dutchman. He's done brilliantly to take it towards the corner. It's all over. Amazing Ahmad has won the derby, and Manchester United, with one of their most significant performances in recent times. Yes, it's only one victory. Yes, it's only 3 points. But in these early days under Ruben Amorim, it feels so significant. City led through Joško Gvardiol. They didn't do enough in the second half. A penalty from Bruno Fernandes in the 88th minute and a stunner from Ahmad in stoppage time have given United the victory. And here's how you heard it on Premier League Live. Good one to De Bruyne. His cross deflected and the free header for Joško Gvardiol. Bit of fortune in the way the cross deflected to him. United seemed to stand still, and Joško Gvardiol, who for a defender has become a bit of a goal machine for City, has given them the lead in the Manchester derby. It's Manchester City 1, Manchester United 0.
It was a great header, by the way. Really good header away from Onana. Even he couldn't move for that one.
Fernandes takes a deep breath. He's up against Ederson. It's Bruno Fernandes who takes his time. A little stutter step and in. And Manchester United are level on Derby Day. And here is Martinez as they look for the winner towards Ahmad over the goalkeeper. Oh, he's done it! Amazing! Ahmad has turned it around. A long ball to him. He skipped away from Ederson. And from a tight angle, found the far corner. How significant tonight could this be for Manchester United? And how significant a blow for Manchester City as they look to retain the title. Joy unconfined for Ahmad and Manchester United. It's City 1, United 2. Just the most extraordinary end to the Manchester derby. Ahmad's being hailed by the travelling United fans, an extraordinary effort, and we'll reflect on it more later on Premier League Live.
To truly go inside the game of pro football, you need to see things from the player's perspective.
Let's go.
Every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, catch the Player's Point.
Let's go. Let's bring the energy.
Join NFL tight end Colin Thompson and Miami Dolphins fullback Alec Ingold as they break down the biggest stories in the NFL.
It's an encouraging way to look at football.
The Player's Point. Every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern on
How's it going, my fellow Manchester United and SOP fans? Hope everyone is enjoying the stream this evening. This is a massive, massive game, as I said at the start of the stream, because it's Manchester United versus Arsenal. We need to get these 3 points, so hopefully we have a good second half here under the new manager, Ruben Amorim. Now, I am here to offer a service to you guys. What I do is take people's teams on EAFC 25, starting from ground zero all the way to the top, by offering a division rivals or FUT champion service, or for some people, both. Now, what this means is I get the highest ranks in division rivals and FUT champions. DM me on Twitter. My Twitter is @truekiller_. I'm sure it's in the description. You can see me in the chat. But come on, United, let's go.
Them online at celebritygreens.com.
There's a secret to Mass Mutual success that's not so secret. We earn and keep trust. We build and maintain financial strength and stability. We deliver solutions that meet complex needs. We do right by our customers, our clients, and our policyholders always. And we've done it day in and day out for over 170 years. Mass Mutual, partnering with financial professionals, benefits brokers, and institutions.
Everyone's looking for lower scores. Don't waste time with swing aids or gimmicks when you can drop strokes guaranteed. Club Champion's fitting process dials in the perfect equipment for your unique swing. No matter your goal, the top-trained master fitters at Club Champion can help you get there. Use code DIALEDIN at clubchampion.com to get a full bag fitting for just $100. That's code DIALEDIN to get a full bag fitting for just $100 at clubchampion.com.
Don't miss a feast of festive football on Sirius XM FC. Ho, ho, ho. From the drama of the Premier League
Merseyside magic from Mo Salah
to the excitement of Serie A.
What a start for Inter!
Enjoy your holiday season with the gift of live soccer.
Stupendously magnificent!
Courtesy of Sirius XM FC, channel 157 in the car, and the Sirius XM app. Head to SiriusXM.com/soccer schedule for all the match listings.
You're listening to Premier League Live with TalkSport.
Inside the area, and he fires it low into the centre of the goal.
We've got every kick of every game from the world's biggest and best football league.
With the outside of his right foot, he found the corner.
The goals, the drama, the excitement, the despair.
Off the right, left foot, top corner, left foot, turning effort. Oh, what a beautiful goal!
It's all here on Premier League Live with TalkSport.
You are listening to TalkSport's coverage of Chelsea against Brentford from Stamford Bridge. I'm your commentator, Toby Gillis. Alongside me, we have the former Arsenal winger, Adrian Clark. This is Premier League Live. We're about to watch the best team in the Premier League. At least if you believe Thomas Frank. He's not talking about his own either. Chelsea, he says, are just that. Mind games? Well, on form he's right. On performances, probably correct again. But he also admits his side are heavy second favourites. So why not try to pile on the pressure while you can? Against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, though, in the Premier League, Brentford remain not just unbeaten, but unstoppable. 3 visits, 3 wins, 2 clean sheets. They are the Blues bogey team, even though they come with a record of just 1 point from 7 away matches this season in the league. Will a very rare Sunday night under the lights sort that out for Enzo Maresca's side? No little incentive, a chance to move just 2 points off top spot. Let's look at the team news for Chelsea. Ignore midweek in Kazakhstan. We knew it wouldn't mean an awful lot as far as today was concerned. From that team, only Tosin Adarabioyo starts, and only 9 of today's 20-man squad even made the trip. 8 are on the bench today. Go back to last Sunday's win at Spurs and it's 3 changes. Pedro Neto suspended after picking up 5 yellows, while Benoit Bediashile and Romeo Lavia drop out, the latter with a hamstring problem. Worth mentioning there's no Mikhailo Mudryk either. He is ill. In come Noni Madueke, Malo Gusto and Tosin himself. Brentford make 2 changes from the win over Newcastle last weekend. They played at home, of course they won. Igor Thiago and Fabio Carvalho drop out, the former entirely, the latter to the bench. They are replaced by Mikkel Damsgaard and Mads Roerslev. And it's plenty of different ways that you could line Brentford up. We'll get to them in a moment. Let's do Chelsea's lineup first. That looked pretty straightforward to me. Robert Sanchez is the goalkeeper. Malo Gusto, Tosin Adarabioyo, Levi Colwill and Marc Cucurella. Moises Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez, the captain in midfield. Noni Madueke, Cole Palmer, Jadon Sancho with 2 goals in his last 2 Premier League games, and Nicholas Jackson leading the line once again. I've gone for a 3-5-2 really for Brentford, but as I mentioned, you could pick it in many ways. Mark Flecken, the goalkeeper. The back 3 in that scenario would be Sepp van den Berg, Nathan Collins, Ethan Pinnock. Then Mads Roerslev right and Keane Lewis Potter left. With the midfield 3, Yeo Yarmolenko, Christian Norgard, the captain, and Mikkel Damsgaard. And then Brian Bumo and Johan Wissa. For me, one of the unheralded pairs of the entire Premier League. at this moment in time will be leading the line for Brentford this evening. Let us welcome in Adrian Clark, who is alongside me for this one. Lovely to be back with you, Adrian.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. Random time to be playing football, of course, 7 o'clock on a Sunday night.
Yep.
Very, very unusual. I think it's a first for me, certainly, commentating on it. Look, Chelsea are going to need to do something different because they haven't managed to beat Brentford at home, but my word, on form, this goes one way, right?
Yeah, Chelsea have been superb, haven't they? And of course, Brentford have been chalk and cheese in terms of the home form and the away form. They've been pretty miserable away. They've had a tough run of games, I've got to say, Brentford, away from the G-Tech, and it's been the opposite at home. But when you look at the two sets of players, you look at Chelsea's season so far, you have to make the Blues favourites. But look, I do think that you sometimes have a little bit of a bogey team. I absolutely feel that because a lot of these guys that Thomas Frank has named his starting 11 have been here and won before, that absolutely gives you an extra little bit of belief ahead of your next visit. So they'll think they can come here tonight and win, no doubt about that.
Clean sheets in their last 2 visits to Stamford Bridge, 8-1 on aggregate across the 3 Premier League matches between Chelsea and Brentford in this stadium. Can they add to that with another shot on what's already been a great weekend of football in the Premier League on Premier League Live?
No one covers MLS like Tony Meola on Counterattack.
The LA Galaxy, for the 6th time, lift a trophy.
That is the final whistle! LA Galaxy of MLS Cup 2024 champions!
It's an incredible feat what they've done. They have set standards. They have pushed the envelope time and time again. The Galaxy, they have been the cream of the crop.
Counterattack, weekday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern, only on SiriusXM FC 157 and anytime on the SiriusXM app.
Playing more golf is great, but playing golf better and longer is even greater. When you want longevity in the game, you need a certain level of speed, skill, and training to keep it going and keep it enjoyable. Par 4 Success can help you achieve that level with customized coaching, flexible programs that fit your schedule, and strategies to gain 10 yards in 10 weeks or less. Take the free 5-minute assessment at par4success.com/radio. That's par, the number 4, success.com/radio.
Madame Giselle senses something in your future.
Is my boyfriend gonna propose?
It's a big storm.
Wait, we're gonna get in a fight?
No, a literal storm. Wind, heavy wind. I see a tree falling on your RV.
Oh, that's fine. I'm covered by Progressive. So, is my boyfriend there? Maybe on one knee?
The entire roof is crushed.
So, no ring.
Be prepared for the unexpected with Progressive, a leader in RV insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Product features subject to policy terms and may not be available in all states or for all vehicles and covered selections.
Too many patients, unfortunately, have lost their lives by not having access to targeted cancer treatment. Most patients do not know all of their options. Invita's precision immunotherapy, genomics, and non-invasive surgery are working to protect and extend lives. I'm Dr. Dino Prado, and I personally welcome you to utilize our Precision Second Opinion and discover if Invita is right for you. Visit us at Invita.com, ENVITA.com.
In the pursuit of speed and playable distance, Titleist has engineered a new class of drivers. Titleist GT marks the biggest technological leap ever in Titleist driver design, delivering unmatched speed, launch, and stability for total driving performance. Discover the next generation of driving excellence with Titleist GT. Visit Titleist.com to find a fitter near you.
Get closer to exclusive talk, comedy, and entertainment on SiriusXM. Be part of the buzzworthy moments with Andy Cohen.
Kelly Clarkson, I do want to do a duet with you.
No nonsense advice with Dr. Laura.
Is this advice that he asks you for? No. Then shut the hell up.
Unparalleled wit and A-list interviews with Conan O'Brien.
Billie Eilish.
How loud can you shout?
You haven't even heard it.
That's why I'm asking.
Don't miss an exclusive moment on SiriusXM.
Welcome back. Building up to Chelsea against Brentford. Mentioned in the intro, Adrian, about Jadon Sancho. Look, goal scoring isn't necessarily what he's brought into the team for, but if you look at his numbers from the time where he had his most success at Dortmund, there were huge numbers of goals for a couple of years and assists. And so he will be looking to sort of increase that output for Chelsea. back-to-back goals in back-to-back Premier League games for him now. Look, we'll hear from him now, and then I just want to ask you about where you see his development in the blue shirt.
You know, it's always nice to feel supported while you're playing, and but again, he's played the game as well, so he has a lot to offer and give us advice on what to do and not do. So,
Jadon Sancho there on the relationship he has with Enzo Maresca. Apparently Eric Ten Hag didn't play the game, presumably what he's saying. But I mean, it's